And we're back here with a brand new episode of Talk Tuesday here on the Experience Point. It's Josh Koval and Andrew Kinsey. Yes, he's talking about himself in the third person. I thought you had really long hair for a second, but it's the hoodie.
My hair is very long right now.
It is. Are you cold or are you just doing it for style?
No, I washed my hair. I washed my hair this morning, and it's still very poofy, and I don't like it when it's poofy. So I put the hood up to make my head look more narrow.
It does kind of look narrow. It kind of looks like you're wearing a full body morph suit. Not gonna lie, it's very tight.
It's not too bad, but yeah, my hair is. I need to get a haircut, real bad.
Yeah, I let mine go. Ooh, I think you're.
My camera is a little wonky. I can see it.
Oh yeah, it's just stuttering a little bit. Hopefully we're okay.
I think my graphics card is going. It's like 15 years old.
My
God! It might be older. It's an old graphics card. I think it's finally going, and I don't have the money for a new graphics card.
Nobody does.
AI, cause crypto, cause bullshit.
Oh my God! Well, now is not the time.
So if anyone has any old graphics cards that they're trying to get rid of, let me know.
Yeah, now's not the time to be in the market desperately for a graphics card.
I don't have money.
Yeah,
our electric bill last month was $800.
Jesus! What?
There's a whole.
Oh, I think we did talk about that a little bit on and off stream.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not. I don't need to. I don't want to talk about it anymore. The good news is I did work out a payment system with the electric company where I pay a flat rate, and then if the electric is ever lower than because it is in the summer it's like laughably low compared to what it is right now. So I just essentially can pay it one consistent amount. And to just pay it. So, like, even if my electric usage is lower than what it should be, it will still even out after a while. So,
nice. Well, you need to crank up the heat because it has been frigid where you and I are. I mean, we're not that close to each other, but we're in the same state, and it's freaking ridiculous. It was like -10 wind chill the other day. I went outside. I live right next to a little mart to get if I need milk or snacks or something, and it hurt my eyeballs to go outside for 5 minutes. I was like, oh my God.
It was brutal, dude.
Yeah.
It was so brutal, man. It was awful.
You're telling me the pipes freaking froze again?
Again.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. It was awful. It was awful, man. I hated it. I had plenty to keep me busy, though. I did beat some games finally.
Nice.
I beat Perfect Dark for the first time.
Oh my God, I can't wait to hear about that in a second. Jimmy says it was 36 to get today. Felt like the world was healing. Had a t-shirt on to get the trash cans.
Yeah.
I know, dude. We were just talking off mic.
It was great.
It was 30 here where I am, and it's I went outside. I was like, oh my God, it might as well be freaking 70.
What's even funnier, at least where I'm at, it was 30. It wasn't quite as high as 36. It was 32 or 33. It's going to drop down to 25 to about 11 o'clock tonight, and then it's going to go back up to 33. I'm like, it's a heat wave. Yeah. I'm so excited.
I know. I think it's going to be 50 this weekend, which is might as well be 80.
It's going to be great. I'm so excited. We can go outside.
Without it hurting to be alive.
We could go swimming.
I remember. Yeah! I remember. This is taking me back to my Michigan days where it was if it hit 75, that was heat wave territory. It would be so cold up there that they would close the schools because they didn't want kids to be outside. Not because of snow, but just because it was so brutally cold.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I hate the cold. I will never understand why you are I remember, I don't know if you still are, but for a while you're you prefer the cold to warm. I can't do it, dude. I just can't. Also, my electric bill, I will never. I was neutral to summer versus I preferred summer and spring to fall and winter, but now I prefer spring and fall to everything else because it saves a fuck ton on electricity.
Yep. What's up, Spicy B? Sad the kids no longer have snow days. My younger cousin has work from home assignments. Oh God, what have we done?
Boo!
So I miss snow
Let
days.
Kids be kids.
Seriously, remember like waiting to hear your code for your school come up on either the radio or the TV. God, the color TV when it was first invented.
I still remember, like, they'd have the news on and they had the little ticker at the bottom of the screen, and you're just like watching
waiting.
it, like, is
Sitting
it going to be there? Is it going to be there?
Sitting there with your bowl of cereal, like, come on,
and
come
then, like,
on.
the district next to you would have a snow day, and you wouldn't. You're like, sons of bitches,
God
we're right
damn.
there. Come on.
No, I remember one time I was sitting there like waiting if like let's see if we got a snow day, and it was like whatever our code was. We'll just say it was like, I don't know, 105. It would be like 101, 102, 103, 104. And we're like, and then 106, 107. I'd be like, God damn it. And then one time,
105.5.
yeah, I started, like, I got ready, all begrudgingly, got my backpack on, was like getting ready to go back out. And I watched the TV one last time. And when it came back around again, my school was listed. And I was like, yeah. And I like threw all my shit and was like, snow day. That was like Christmas.
I also
hearing
remember
the phone ring at 5 a.m.
Like,
totally.
Same thing with like the radio station, like listening to the delays on the radio station.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, I know the jingle from my local one my family would listen to, and I don't want to sing it because it'll place me too much.
That's so funny. Is it the you mean the AM radio station?
I don't remember.
Does it go?
I don't remember. That's
exactly.
Yeah. Exactly the one.
I still have that stuck in my head for the rest of my life. Oh my God. Traffic and transit on the twos. That re-sleep you get when you're already up and get to dip back into the sheets. Oh yeah, that's the best. I would say I have mellowed out a bit in my old age of 30, soon to be 37 this Friday. Mm-hmm. I don't like live in the cold like I used to. Like, I remember when we were in college together, it being like snowy and icy, and I was just wearing t-shirt and shirts because it's t-shirt and shorts, and I thought it was cool. And then I got pneumonia, and I was like, I should probably stop doing this. I'd walk to high school like with wet hair, with like nothing on, being miserable just because I was like, yeah, I'm the ice guy. I'm Sub-Zero. Yeah. I came from Michigan. The cold never bothered me anyway. Even though that was like 10 years before that movie came out.
And you probably wondered why you had no friends when you're just muttering, walking down the street and like, I am the ice guy.
I am the ice man. Yeah. Cuckoo
the ice man. What's up, Gilmer?
Sub-Zero wins.
Is cool.
Hey, Gilmer. Yeah, I still, when it comes to extremes, I would rather be too cold than too hot, because I feel like there's more that you can do about being too cold. You can put more on. You can, like, I have a really nice electric blanket. But when it's too hot and there's nothing you can do about it, I hate that with all my heart. Like, you can't take, like, I want to take my skin off.
This is what you do. Well, you can only do this if you're the only one home, or if your partner doesn't mind. Mm-hmm. You get naked. You spread eagle on the bed, and you just lay there
yeah,
with a fan on you. Best feeling in the world. Can't tell me otherwise.
I used to have to do that by necessity because I used to live on an upper floor of an apartment that had no AC and just a ceiling fan. And I would literally lay there in my bed under the fan completely naked. I was single, not that I had a partner that would care. But and I had a spray.
The fan was your only friend.
My fan was my biggest fan. And I would lay under it with a spray gun, like a misting, like for your hair. And I would just spray it up in the air, and then it would, like, the mist would come back down on my body, and the fan would keep me cool. So and then I'd fall asleep, and then I'd wake up, and I'd be like, oh my God, it's so hot. And it would mist down, and then I'd be like, and I'd fall asleep for another like 10 minutes, and I would do that all night. It was miserable.
It's just the image of you laying naked with a spray bottle.
Yeah, you like that?
Just go.
Yeah, I had to do what I had to do. That's why being warm is worse than being cold. Thank you, Spicy B. Username does not check out, unfortunately.
Oh my God. Oh, why did that get... Oh, shit, that really got me.
Yeah,
No,
hate
I
it.
still prefer, because I think for me, the what is it?
Plant.
The warm, like,
An industry
I think he
plant.
was referring to the spicy part, but anyway, um, no, for me, like, I always prefer the worm because in general, like, this is not a phrase or a saying. I'm not using it as a metaphor. I literally get cold feet. Like, my
Oh,
feet are
same.
consistently freezing
I have
all the
I
time.
have a blanket on just my feet right now.
Yes, it's awful. I,
It
I think
sucks.
I just have poor circulation in my feet. Maybe
Yeah,
I need to start,
my
like,
hands too.
you know, my hands are actually warm. I don't know what it
Oh,
is. My hands are fine. It's only my feet. I've gotten used to it after a while, so it doesn't bother me too much. But I still don't like it. Especially when, like, it's really cold. Our basement is not well insulated, so the floor of our house is fucking freezing.
uh,
Um,
so you're walking around
it's
like,
just obnoxious. Well, that's where I wear insulated socks. Then that's what I
yeah,
do there.
that's the way to do it.
So,
Well, speaking of
but
feet,
yeah,
not in the sexy way, although Gilmer is here. Or no, is it usually Parallax that asks you for feet pics?
no, it's Jimmy.
Oh, is it Jimmy?
It's James.
well,
James asked for feet pics.
well, I knew it was one of them. There it is. Oh shit, we doing feet stuff. There he is.
Right
Speak,
on cue.
Yep. Speak of the devil. Yeah, we have not met in a couple of weeks for several reasons. One of which is to do with my own little toesies. Past couple of weeks. So as if the kidney stone wasn't enough. As if I hadn't gone through enough pain this year. I've had, and I blame rock climbing for this. I think my rock climbing shoes are just way too tight. It's cramped both of my big toes so bad that the nails are starting to grow like into the skin, like downwards. And it's incredibly painful. Like it was at the point where, like, if I would bump my toe on anything like a pixel, it would just like spike the pain like crazy. And I was trying to trim it right, and then they would bleed, and it's just like, imagine just like jamming a piece of glass into the corner of each of your toes, just all the time, just forever, and you leave them
Yeah.
there.
And you leave it.
Yeah. And so I went like, you know what, this is bullshit, and this had been kind of going on for the past several years. I went to a doctor, and he like did this procedure thing where he like basically cut the whole side of the nail off, and it was just one of the sides of the nails, and that hurt a lot. And it came back, and fast forward to now, I was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore, and also soon I'm not going to have insurance for a good reason. So I was like, I went to the doctor again, and I was like, hey, can we make this a little more permanent? Is there anything we can do? And he was like, yeah, there's this. I'm very paraphrasing because I had to go back like 3 freaking times, and there was some borderline malpractice that happened. But he was like, yeah, there's this chemical called phenol that we can, well, basically we chop them off, we put this chemical on, and then it won't grow back. And he's like, people do this like 5 or 6 times before they do the phenol treatment. And I was like, why? Why would I want to do this more than I need to? Oh, thanks, Spicy. I'm hanging in there. So he did the treatment, and I was like, can we just do the other side of the other toe too? So then he did it 4 times. Basically, he cut the whole nail down either sides of both big toes, and which meant 4 separate injections for the numbing, which didn't even 100% work. And I was just laying there, like, staring at the ceiling, like, trying not to look at this, because I get like medical anxiety for anything. And he like said something to me, and I looked down, and I was like, God damn it, why did I do this? The sight that I saw was basically something about the size of something in between a toothpick and a popsicle stick sticking out of each side of both of my toes, and blood everywhere. Blood everywhere. I was like, oh my God. So I'm just like laying there like, ah. And he's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "I looked at it. Why did I look at it?" And also, like I said, it didn't even numb it completely. So I'm just like kind of feeling what he's doing. Uh, so this was like last Tuesday, I think. And I was like, I'm in a lot of pain. I cannot do stream. Like I don't think I streamed all of last week.
Last Tuesday was you had someone else on, I believe.
Yes, I was going to.
Tuesday before that was the we were going to, and then that's right. You said you were going to, and then I was like, I'm not streaming with Andrew tonight, and Courtney goes, yeah, because of his feet, right? And I go, what are you talking about? 'Cause I don't have Facebook on my phone. I took it off because I didn't want to keep looking at it.
Right.
Only to then rush up to my computer, my desktop that I'm on right now. I'm like, what's going on? And I logged onto Facebook. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I posted a picture of my like bandaged and bloody feet like on the on Facebook. Yeah, so that's been going on. I have to like freaking soak it in salt water twice a day, which feels awesome. If you ever got salt water in a wound, it feels pretty good. And then, change the dressing and put medicine on and stuff. So I'm somewhat back to normal now. I can like walk without too much of a visible limp, but it's like both feet. So like the first couple of days, I was just kind of like this penguin walking around the house, like, But yeah, so that's been going on. I was supposed to have a guest on last week. Obviously, didn't stream at all that week because it's just like thumping pain. I was like, I can't focus. And I think this person is gonna hopefully come on next week. But I'm also sort of double booked with somebody who is very flaky, so it'll probably be one of two different people, not Josh, next week. Barring any more medical shit, because I'm done. I'm done with anything medical for the rest of 2026.
Well, you got a lot of time left.
I know. I got it all out of the way.
You got 10 months of hoping you don't have to go to the doctors.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I told you this officially, but do you know the reason why
you haven't?
I don't have health insurance anymore?
No, I'm assuming you quit your job and you got something else.
Quit my shitty ass job at the cancer center. So
nice.
That is a huge mental health victory for me because I've talked about on here before how draining that place was in both time and energy and mental health. And it doesn't replenish enough with financial to make it worth it because nobody gets paid well in healthcare unless you're a doctor. So I realized you can't see them because they're cut off, but I brought my boys back home. I have my sons here.
I have to wait to catch up on the stream.
Okay. My sons.
Hey.
Oh, Tails is dead.
Hey, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
Yeah. I had a little a tiny little shelf, three little shelves behind me at my desk at the cancer center, and so I was like, oh hey, I have a set of 3 things I could put up there, and I brought these guys and they were holding down the fort, but they're home now. My sons are home with me. I'm a stay-at-home dad now, which isn't true at all because I have a new job. I started a ongoing freelance design gig with a local company that I've been wanting to work with for a while, who's actually headed up by one of my old professors from art school. So,
oh nice.
I ran into him randomly, and he was like, "Hey, are you still at whatever?" And I was like, "No, I left there, and I'm just at this cancer center now because it's healthcare and consistent hours, and I'm just doing like the freelance thing. I have a couple of clients," and he's like, "Do you want more work?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, we have like a lot of work." And I was like, "Okay." So I started working for them, and it's been rad. They're huge Star Wars fans, so that works out great. The company is literally called Force, and the dude's name was, if that wasn't enough. Also, everything is Star Wars in there. Like, there's literal full-size stormtroopers and Vaders and like toys everywhere and helmets, like Mandalorian helmets and X-Wing fighter helmets all around. And if that wasn't enough, people are like, yeah, I mean, when I talk about the guy who runs that, he's like, yeah, he's a huge Star Wars fan. He made this whole business around Star Wars. And I was like, yeah, but what you might not know, that I know from being his student, is the dude named his 2 sons Luke and Ben. So I think he wins.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we may not agree on a lot of things politically, but what we can agree on a lot of the times is Star Wars. So that's been cool, and it's been an ongoing thing, and so it's nice to be doing pseudo full-time, design work again.
Yeah.
And I'm out of the cancer center, so blowing the confetti, do all of the things. Thanks, Jimmy. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I have one more thing to share, not to keep going, but it does have to do with me leaving the cancer center.
Okay.
I don't want to hog all the time. You can go after this. You can go after this. Just leave.
All right.
You mentioned last time we talked about you had some kind of program. Oh,
I'll see you later.
And he's gone. Goodbye forever. Oh, now I have to full screen you again.
Oh, sorry. Did that?
How dare you? Now everyone can see that shitty drawing of the United States from the perspective of Africa.
The U.S. map that I sent you that I did not draw, to be clear.
Yeah.
But
Africa.
I would draw something like that.
Wait, I said Africa. I meant Alaska. Africa. You said something about your job has like a you got like a Amazon gift card or something for some program at your job. What was it?
Yeah, they give not an Amazon gift card. They give you $100 gift card.
Oh, nice. Yeah, fuck Amazon.
Every Christmas.
Jeff Bezos can suck a fart. That's what my close personal friend Josh Koval always says.
Wasn't that during the Game Awards when we were watching together? Anytime there was something I disliked, like this person can suck a fart.
Yeah, I think Bezos was the first one you said that about though. Yeah, everybody could suck
all the farts.
Suck them hard, suck them long. But yeah, so one of the only benefits I had at the cancer center was we had these points. Like you got these. They were called like legacy points, and you could send so many. You got so many of them that replenished every month that you could send to other employees that were like, hey, thanks for helping me out with whatever, or like I saw the way that you handled XYZ, that was really cool. I got one, it was really nicely from a provider who saw me advocating for a patient's pronouns because they were being disrespected, and then they were like, really like how you handled that, and then they sent me points because everybody gets so many points to send. I never understood company gift. I assume what's being censored out is cards. I don't know why. Maybe that's a spam filter. Can't you just pay me more? I know, totally.
Well, so in fairness to my company in this instance, it's $100 gift card. So it's like, are they really going to split $100 over the course of like, 26 pay periods?
Right.
Like, yay.
Cool.
That's like $5, less than $5 extra a check that will end up being taxed anyway. It's just something nice. Though because I am salary there, I do get an annual bonus, which is like 10 to 15% of my whatever I make yearly. It's supposed to be like 10% or so of like whatever.
Nice.
But you only get that if you're salary. If you're hourly, you don't get a bonus. But when you're salary, you get the bonus.
Lame.
So though last year it was only 7% or 6%, and I was mad because they didn't tell anybody they were skimping on us. But neither here nor there. Every company does shitty things periodically.
Roll out the guillotine. Yeah. But yeah, so I was like, I got to cash out my points before I leave, because you can spend the points on like anything, literally, like home audio stuff, computer stuff, video games, toys, like clothes. There's almost like another little mini Amazon that they have just for these points. And I was like, let me see how many I have. Maybe I can get a game or something. And I looked, and a lot of the games were like the typical price for a game was like 7,500 points. And I had 7,505 points. So I had just enough. I had 5 points left over from a year of working there, or like 10 months or so. And so I, for completely free, got a copy of. I should grab it, but it's on my shelf, and I don't want to get up. I got a copy of Pokemon Legends ZA, the newest Pokemon game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for the Switch. I was like, this is cool. Like, this just came out. Like, you know, they had a bunch of games on there that were like a little bit older, and I was like, I could probably get these cheaper than, you know, Nintendo games. First party Nintendo games hardly ever go on sale, and if they do, it's like $10. So I was like, sick. I'll totally free get this game that I probably wasn't going to buy because I've heard mixed things about it, but it's a new Pokemon. And I'm getting it for free. That's rad. Capitalism's doing its thing. Yeah, it's really popping off today. So,
what are you talking about? Capitalism's great. He got a bunch of points for working 10 months that gave him a free game. That's equivalent of a fair wage, right, everybody?
What's $50 spread out over 10 months? I've been saving up. It's like I'm 9 years old again, saving up my allowance for a $50 game, and it takes me a year.
Oh, my God. And little do they know, they're probably, like, whatever you buy, they're probably selling that data to make more money off the points you earn.
Probably. They've already got my data. I don't care. So, yeah, I haven't started it yet. I have entirely way too many things on my backlog, but I do have it.
I feel you on that.
It came the next day, too, which is wild. Like, I was... Because, like, I ordered it, like, right when I put my 2 weeks in, and I was like, I hope this gets here before... I lose access to this email that it's tied to. And then it literally showed up the next day. It was like a Saturday. I put it in on Friday, or I ordered it on a Friday, and then I got it like the next Saturday. So cool. Nice. One good thing about that job. No. I did like helping people. Like, that was the one thing that kept me going, was feeling like I was actually doing some good. And a lot of people were like, you know, God bless you for working here. It takes a special kind of person. And I was like, I guess. So I'm trying not to like, like, I don't know if I was that person though.
Flintstones very Flintstones response. It's a living.
It's a living. Yeah, basically. It did feel good to help people though. I just can't. Oh my God. I was crying like every day because people would come out bawling their eyes out, and I have to like try to hold it together. Capitalism breeds innovation in the sense that you have to find things to do other than game. Yeah. But
I will say I actually do enjoy my job quite a bit, but I'm also very lucky in my job where I've worked myself up to a position where it's much lower stress than it has any right to be. Versus like people underneath me who report to me have a much harder time. I always try to keep that in mind though. Like, right. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm lucky in my position. Not every job. And even then I still, like, you've heard me complain about money. I could always use more money. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky. My job is as much as like the place where I work, there's people give it a lot of grief. And there's a lot of problems with it. I'm not denying that. Their PTO policy, I'm not a fan of. And also there's a lot of other things they do I'm just not a fan of. But the hour flexibility, I've never worked at a place that's like, you know how you always hear horror stories? Like what you were telling me, I don't know if you said it on mic or off mic, but at the cancer center, it was like impossible to change your schedule for anything.
Yeah, it took a month.
Like bending. Yeah. I can literally just be like, hey, can I have off tomorrow? They're like, sure. They don't even ask why. Like, as long as you have paid time on PTO to cover it, you're good to go.
Yeah, that was getting days off was okay. But you couldn't call out sick if you didn't have the PTO to cover it. Like, that was shitty. So I was like, so I'm going to just come in and possibly make dying cancer people sicker?
Technically, like, that's the... Technically, it's the same with my job, but at the same time, we also were not like it's a supervisor is basically just kind of like, well, like, what are you gonna do? Like, just say that you can't come in. Like, I don't know, like, you're not supposed to, but we also haven't really disciplined anyone for it unless it's like egregious, like they're doing it consistently.
Right. Yeah, it's individual days
because then it gets to a bigger. Yeah. But
changing my schedule to, like, I went down to part-time once I got this these couple of freelance gigs, and changing my schedule from like full-time to like 3 days a week, it took a month for that to go through. It was absurd. The Medfield is so bad with
Medfield,
that. My
yeah.
friend got a doctor's note from her own hospital and is being forced to work overtime. Bro, I don't know if that's your. I'm not saying bro. I'm not gendering you if that's not your gender. I mean general bro. That reminded me. I went to the same hospital that I worked for when I had the kidney stone. Tell me why I just got a bill for $2,000. And this is for one of the 2 visits that I went for the kidney stone. So I might get another one. I might get another like $2,000. I was like, what the fuck? Like, did my insurance just not go through? And then I saw the itemized thing and it was like full charges were like $8,000 and your insurance covered 6 of it, but still give us, $2,000. And I'm like,
which just tells me like why, like that to me that's just the hospital then. Like I don't know. Like I understand insurance is a fucking scam. I'm not trying to defend insurance companies at all because I've been seeing so many horror stories of them like denying coverage and all this other shit, which is literally killing people.
Yeah.
So not defending insurance companies, but sometimes I look at it where like the insurance company is already paying $6,000 out of an $8,000 claim. I'm like, motherfuck, like it doesn't have to be $8,000 for what you did. Just charge like $4,000 and then the insurance wouldn't cover all of it anyway. They're always going to find a way to not cover all of it.
Yep.
But it's just, I don't know. The whole thing just pisses me off.
And people wonder why we want
exactly.
justice.
People
for
wonder why we
Louis.
want justice.
Yep.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, he saved lives. And he did actually, because a bunch of insurance companies started walking back a lot of their shitty policies once what's his nuts died. Thompson or whatever, God fuck his soul.
Well, and because like you can't, because it's a company making decisions and it's not a person, they can't charge anyone for like murder because there's no one to charge. It's a system. How do you charge a system? So it's all fucked up. The whole thing is just like a goddamn. Just yeah. Though I saw something somewhat recently, like where I don't know how old this, like it was like some like health insurance CEOs were in front of Congress. I don't know all the specifics, but basically the one congressperson said like, well, is there any like consequences for doing the wrong thing? Like, does anyone experience any consequences for like denying care that shouldn't have been denied? And no one had an answer. And they're like there has, like, we have to, like, at the very least, if you're not going to like get private, like, do a single payer, like healthcare for all type of thing through the government, then there has to be a way to hold insurance companies accountable. Yeah, there has to be. Yeah. But anyway,
well, yeah, I will get up further on a soapbox, but we don't have all night. Those are some things that I experienced in the time that we spent away from each other, where my heart grew fonder for you.
Oh, you.
What else have you experienced? You said you beat Perfect Dark for the first time.
I beat Perfect Dark for the first time. That game is wild and a half.
Yeah.
I'll spare my thoughts on it right now, just because I'm doing an episode on it. I'm actually recording it Thursday night, I believe. Which reminds me, I have another recording session tomorrow night, and I should probably message the people just to make sure that they're still good to record tomorrow because I forgot about that. Let me send a quick message now before I forget. Yeah.
While you do, Jimmy says Perfect Dark is the best Bond game. Fight me. Josh will fight you.
Disagree.
I won't.
That game is overrated.
I knew you were going to say that.
And I went into it wanting to like it so much, but man, it is really difficult. The difficulty is all over the place. The levels are fun. I love the visual look and level design and everything like that. The plot is dumb as shit. And I never thought I would have said that about comparing to like
James Bond.
Joanna Dark walks so James Bond could make mediocre movies.
Hey
now. James Bond was making mediocre movies way before Perfect Dark came out. Yeah. And I know that as a James Bond fanatic.
No, it was more like James Bond weirdly crouch slid so that Joanna Dark could run. What was up with the?
Oh, you hate women.
Oh, so you hate women? What was up with the weird crouch sliding thing that you could do in GoldenEye? Like, do you remember that? Like,
What? No.
in multiplayer, when you would crouch, I think it was R. If you held R and pushed C down, you would get down a little bit lower, and you would kind of be like down on one knee, and you'd be moving. I only say multiplayer because that's the only time other people can see you, or other players can see you. So you could see on someone else's screen what you look like, and your character would just be like down on one knee, like they were proposing, but holding a gun out and just sliding across the floor like it was ice. It was super weird. So then Oddjob, if you played Oddjob in GoldenEye, then fuck your soul. Because you could do the like sitting down sliding thing as Oddjob. I think they called it sharking, and then nobody could hit you.
The aggressiveness of that fuck your soul,
Yeah.
I have never heard of, let alone from you. But
Well, I said it a second ago when I was talking about I don't forget what his name was, John Thompson from United. I was like, John Thompson, God fuck his soul.
I didn't even hear that. Wow, I totally missed it. Yeah, no. So I beat Perfect Dark. I got some thoughts on it.
I see.
I also saw for the first time,
Ooh.
not just the first time in theaters, but for the first time, the Lord of the Rings extended editions.
Oh, okay, right. You did the back-to-back-to-back thing, right?
Yes. So
nice.
The first snowstorm that was in our area was on the day we were going to see Return of the King. So I got to see Fellowship and Two Towers. Fellowship on Friday night, Two Towers on a Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, and then had to cancel my Return of the King showing. But then they what is it? That I guess they extended it because of the snow. So I ended up the very next weekend I went out to see Return of the King and got to see the extended edition of that.
Nice.
And I enjoyed them a lot more than I thought I was going to. I was worried because this is the Lord of the Rings Renaissance in Josh, where I used to hate them literally less than a year ago, and now I'm like, they're great.
It's like a few months ago.
Give me more. Like 6 months ago, maybe. I don't know. I would say it's the transition started back in like September. A transition to a Lord of the Rings lover.
I transitioned from a
September.
hater to a lover. So you said first time.
No,
was it your first time seeing the extended editions ever?
Ever.
Wow.
So I had not seen any of the. I might have seen clips of like Fellowship, but I never saw any of them all the way through. And watching them, I really enjoyed it.
Nice. I think I've only ever watched the extended editions, like from the DVDs.
Really?
Like, everyone I knew who had the DVDs, they had the big like red, blue, and green extended DVDs, and then now I have the extended ones on Blu-ray. So I don't think I could tell you, aside from a couple of scenes like it's Mr. Bilbo's Trolls, like what is actually added, because I've only ever watched the extended ones.
Obviously they added about 40 minutes to each, just about, like each extended, because I think the first movie is like 2.5 hours, and then the extended edition is like 3 hours and 15.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like Two Towers. Like Two Towers is like 2 hours and 45, and the extended edition is like 3.5, and then Return of the King is like a little over 4 hours, right? Like it's normally 3.5 hours long, and it was 4 hours and 15 minutes or so, or something like
absurd.
That. The main thing is, like, from my experience with it, there's a lot of stuff that like should not have been cut, but I understood why they had to cut to make the movies a reasonable length.
Yeah.
Also considering when the movie came out, like now, if they were to make this now, like a fantasy epic like this, and like based off Lord of the Rings now, like we never got Peter Jackson's, but fantasy still somehow had that, like that renaissance that Lord of the Rings gave it in cinema. Like if we had that somehow somewhere else and they made it now, I think people would sit through the extended editions for it, because it's like appointment, it's an event at that point.
Yeah.
But back in 2000 and 2001, and when these were coming out, or 2001, 2, and 3, when these were coming out, that wasn't a thing. You know, they didn't have like the nothing had been done like these movies. So I gained a new appreciation for the context in which these movies were released in, just
Mm,
because like this should not have worked by all accounts.
yeah.
Like relative, like don't get me wrong, it had some big actors in it, but you're like no like like actors that you would generally like. I love Ian McKellen and
Mm,
Christopher Lee, but like you wouldn't necessarily in 2001 you wouldn't use them as like this is the star that's going to sell your movie in America. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They were going to they were popular. They would have like done well, but like it's not like what was big in the 90s and 2000s. Your Brad Pitts, your Ben Afflecks, your
Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruises, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
like those guys would have like those would be your huge stars that would sell the movie to people who are not maybe they're not that interested in it. So you get that big star, or they don't know about it, so they get the big star to like be like, well, I don't know what this is, but I like Tom Cruise, so I'll go and see it. Like
Yeah.
that's like they didn't have that for this, so they already were lacking. And I don't mean this as an insult, but they were lacking star power, which would be like a very movie making business decision.
Mm.
uh Obviously filming three movies all at
At the same
once and then
time.
editing them all apart, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Two, like three, just the budget alone, like getting a green light on that budget is insane.
Hmm.
Even though the budget wasn't that big compared to other movies, and for being able to work on such a small budget, like getting the budget for three at once is insane. But then divvying that up amongst the three movies and working on all of them is just like the amount of money they had for it was so like that's crazy too. Like they didn't have that much money for each film
Yeah.
comparatively. Um, like you, what is it? Like when Isildur gets the ring and then puts it on, you see him disappear. Like he gets attacked, puts the ring on, and disappears in like the swamp or whatever. That completely subverts. Um, are you online, Andrew?
I don't know how we're still talking, but I think the Twitch died.
Yeah, because it says so. Our internet's fine, but it says
Yeah.
you're offline.
I think Twitch.
Can you check your Streamlabs?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
it says I'm still streaming on OBS, but I think Twitch might be down. Or I don't know if that's what the problem is, but what the hell?
And that was so weird.
It still says I'm I'm
Now it's
live.
saying now it says you're live again. Now it says you're live again. Okay.
Well,
Now it doesn't. Now it doesn't. What the fuck? It's like doing like little like clips here and there.
whoa, yeah, holy crap. It's like a minute,
Maybe stop.
44 seconds.
Maybe stop the stream real quick and then restart it.
Oh, I wanted to avoid doing that. But
Wait. It says we're live again.
what the hell?
All right.
I hope
It
it's
says we're are we back?
yeah, someone in chat could.
Someone in chat, let us know if we're back.
Oh, Jimmy says it died and came back.
That was just a minute ago, but now I think okay. No, it's still
Our stream,
okay.
my stream just pulled a Gandalf the Grey. It died and came back.
There we go. So I see Spicy B. I do see your message, Spicy B, about
Okay.
like, do you guys think about games and movies become more numerous and accessible? It leads people to experiencing less weird media. We will. That's a good question. We will definitely get into that. But let me sure it's like, yeah, that's weird. Okay. So what was I saying? Like Isildur like losing the ring, like that by him using the ring, it completely kind of takes the steam out of what happens to Bilbo when he puts the ring on. That's supposed to be a big like reveal, like oh my god, what's going on, like that kind
Yeah.
of thing. So that I think should have stayed cut. There's also stuff in like Return of the King where like when Frodo and Sam dress up as orcs and then they get captured but they don't get captured. They get mistaken to be orcs by an army of orcs and they get sucked up into like the swarm going towards the Black Gate and then they just leave. I'm like, well, that was useless. Like there was like nothing happened in that scene. And they weren't there long enough to have it to build any tension. They were just there and then they weren't. So I thought that was kind of odd.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it was fantastic. I really enjoyed getting to see it. There's a lot of stuff they added that like made the movies make more sense, like everything with Boromir and Faramir, a lot of like the flashbacks, but after Boromir, quote, spoiler alert, dies in
What?
Fellowship, um, where you see like the interactions between him, Faramir, and Denethor,
Mm.
like that is not in the theatrical edition. So like you lose a lot of the characterization of Boromir by not having it in there, and also the
Oh,
characterization of Faramir and like the heartbreak of having a shitty fucking father like Denethor.
yeah.
Um,
Hey,
so yeah,
I just want to double check if
it,
someone's in chat. Could you just say like, "Hey, what up?" or like, let us know if we're
it
on.
still shows as live for me. I will refresh the page just to make sure. Um, though
Hey,
it is giving me an ad now that I refresh it, but
oh,
it
hey,
should be.
that's still a good sign.
Hey, what up? Spicy B says, "Hey, what up?"
Okay,
All
all
right,
right,
cool.
I'll take that. Okay. Anyway, thanks for bearing
So
with our
yeah,
tech
I
issues here.
really enjoyed getting to see the theatrical editions. Now, for Spicy B's question, do we think games and movies, as games and movies become more numerous and accessible, that it leads to people experiencing less weird media? Like, I don't see anyone making something with like Bioshock One.
Hmm.
Um, Less weird media. I oh no, because I think media has gotten weirder since it's been more decentralized. Like, look at the amount of, just because the democratization of being able to make things like media, whether it's social media, like content creation, like streaming, like Twitch, or podcasts, or making like YouTube videos and all this other stuff. Like, you get to see a lot more creativity of people. Like, there's like so many weird things out there that like people find. I will say the downside to it is that we no longer have cultural touchstones like we used to.
Hmm.
Like, you get less of them, as because we are so spread out in our likes and dislikes. We have so much choice in
Hmm.
media. I feel like where there's less cultural touchstones. Like, for example, the TV show MASH, like the series finale of MASH in like the early 80s or whatever, held the record for like the most watched television ever until a Super Bowl overtook it. And the
Wow.
Super Bowl is kind of like its own thing. That's probably the closest thing to an American touchstone. But prior to, and I still don't think there's been any regular TV show. I'll have to double check, but regular TV show that's not like a sporting event, like not like a one-off event, that has surpassed MASH in the 80s, right? Like when the population was like half of what we are right now, or like,
Yeah.
like two-thirds of what we are right now. Like, you don't get all that now, like, because we have so much choice, so much media. Like, I think because of that, we've also because people are so, you know because especially with like TikTok reels and stuff, it's also killed attention spans. We don't really have movie stars nearly as much anymore as we used to. Like, we still have some, but like Timothy Chalamet is the closest thing to like a big star that I can think of. um
I I think
yeah,
we have. I think there are our movie stars are bigger than they were, but there's less of them. Like I feel like it's
yeah,
just
that's what
every
I
other
would say
movie
too.
is The Rock and Kevin Hart and Jack Black. You know, like
But those are also stars from like not yesteryear, but like from a decade ago. Like, where is the up and comer that you know what I mean? Like, it always felt like there was an like a new batch of up and comers every like 5 years or so, and I haven't really seen any new up and comers in the last 5 years.
I would still
I'm
consider
sure there's
Timothy
some, but there's not as
Chalamet
many.
an up and comer.
He's in a Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like
I'd say so.
any of a lot of the like the Marvel people who are going to be like, you sign on for a Marvel movie, chances are, unless it's like a real obscure weird one, that you're going to be doing that for a while. And so you go from a Marvel project, you'll be, or like Stranger Things, like those kids will never hurt for money because of how popular that was.
No,
Um,
and I will say, at least with like, I feel like there's a handful of things that are like the cultural touchstones now on TV are Stranger Things, are Game of Thrones, but like not saying like Friends is a great example because Friends had a lot of problematic stuff, but like where is our current like sitcom that's like I think Ted Lasso was the last thing that was closest to it.
Mm.
And that was like a single camera sitcom, right? So like I don't know, like I think that like there is an element of, and I'm not saying one is better or worse. Like sometimes I wish we had a nice balance of the two because I like how freeing this content creation landscape is, but at the same time, to what Spicy is saying in the one line in the one chat here, that it's kind of like infinite media, but I also think that since there are so many options, people tend to watch the same things. And I actually think one of the reasons I agree with you on that, Spicy. I think one of the reasons that is too is because things are placed in front of us. We do not seek out things. And back pre-internet, you would have to go to a store and look around, and whether it's Blockbuster, whether it's a mom and pop rental, whether it's like a retailer that you're buying movies from, you would have to go there and look at a wall of movies, and you would get to see a curated thing, and you would never really know what's there. Like, versus on Netflix, they will give you things they think you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of lose that ability to have like like for example, I remember going to see The Holiday in theaters. It's a rom-com with Jack Black, Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, and Jude Law. And I went because there was a girl that I wasn't like into, but she was like cute. But I was like, I'll go. I get to hang out with a girl. That's cool. Like I just thought that was fun. She also had a boyfriend. Just to be clear, did not make a move. There was no intention. She asked to go. I'm like, sure, I'll go see a movie. We went to see The Holiday, and I fucking loved it. It's a rom-com, and I don't normally like rom-coms, but I feel like what are the odds? Like what are the odds that I would have end up liking that?
Yeah.
And I would not have sought that out. An algorithm would have never given that to me. So I do think that one of the reasons that we watch the same things over and over and over again is because the algorithms give us stuff it thinks we want to watch or like or see, and it's hard to break free of that unless you specifically seek something out.
Yeah.
And you don't know, but how do you know to seek something out if you don't know it exists?
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of like word of mouth comes in. Like that's one of the things that I love about doing this or any like even just like talking to you or like talking to my chat, having people being like, yo, did you see XYZ? Oh my God, I've never heard of that. Like Spicy just said, you ever go to a friend's Netflix house or a friend's house and their Netflix is just a bunch of shit you've never heard of? Like, yes, all the time. I love that. But I think to answer your question, Spicy, about do we think weird media is people are afraid to make more weird media? I think now more. I think we're at like the peak of a precipice, and we're starting to get, and I think we're about to get a lot more really weird stuff because we are coming out of severe like Marvel fatigue. And in terms of video games, where I've kind of ranted about this before, art direction isn't really. A lot of art direction of video games now is just make it as realistic as possible. And there's like, where is the art style? I want to see more weird, like studios and games taking weird chances, or like I'm getting games like Unbeatable and Hi-Fi Rush and just like super stylish and bizarre. Like even Capcom, like Pragmata looks super weird and cool. I think we traded Marvel fatigue for video game fatigue. Oh, I don't know if we traded it at all. I think we just got both, unfortunately, Jimmy.
Because I mean, think about it too. Like right now, the video game fatigue is like, and this is not hipster Josh coming out. I'm not blaming this on this, but like Souls like stuff. Like,
yeah,
remember like E3 like last year, Summer Games Fest 2025. Every single fucking game was like a grisly, high fantasy medieval looking thing.
Yes, and they all looked
with,
the
like,
same.
A knight fighting a dragon or something.
Yeah,
and they all looked the same.
Like you can put that type of game out, and make it look and feel and play different, but they don't, because everyone's chasing that Dark Souls bag, and they're making it look exactly the same and play exactly the same. and I just I can't stand it. Did you see that game that's coming out on? It's a Switch 2 exclusive, unfortunately, but it's called Orbitals. Have you seen anything for that? It was one of the trailers
Yeah,
for
the
Summer
thing
Game
that looks like
Fest.
1980s anime.
Yeah, it looks
Fucking
so
awesome.
sick. Like what a cool hyper specific aesthetic to really dive into, to pull from and make that, because we have the technology to make move in real time and make 3D models look like anime. Like it writes itself. Uh
Mm.
I think for video game slash movie and TV adaptations. Yeah,
Yeah, because they did Last of Us. They're doing Fallout. I'm trying to think if there's others
there's
right
another
now, but
Mortal
those are the
Kombat movie
ones
coming
off
out
the top
this
of
year. Like that last one was kind of just like
yeah,
a shrug of a movie.
yeah. Oh, the new Street Fighter movie coming out as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I'm the only person I know that's excited about that movie, and maybe it's because I'm not as much of a Street Fighter fan. I'm a Street Fighter casual fan, but that cast
you're
is
a filthy casual.
awesome. I love the
Well,
idea of this
minus
cast.
Andrew Scholes, but sure.
Oh my god, yeah. But he is playing a total shithead garbage character in real life, and like his character that he plays
So he doesn't
is a parody.
have to act.
Yeah, he just has to play himself. No, the guy that he's playing, Dan Hibiki, is like I'm trying to think of like the equivalent. He's like a shitty wannabe Ryu. Like he in the games, like when he does a Hadouken, it's like Hadouken, and just like a little like fart of a fireball comes out, and he's bad on purpose, and that's like the point of him. So I actually thought that was perfect casting.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Well, speaking
So,
of oh
I have some other stuff to share if you don't if it's cool.
no, please do.
I don't know. Are you going to go into something?
I have a very weird movie that I can share that I watched, but I may have talked about it already. But it doesn't. It's not.
Mine will be quick.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that much of a segue that
So-
it needed to happen. So please do.
So as you know, I've been reading a lot,
Yep.
and I've been exploring a handful of things. One,
Wheel of Time.
my daughter, we read chapter books to her. Yes, I actually finished book 4 of the Wheel of Time
Nice.
finally. Finished that. There's some really cool shit in that. There's one thing I was so surprised. Like the world building in that series is just so cool. So in the Wheel of Time, there's this group of people called the Isle. They're a race of people called the Isle.
Yeah.
Um,
Is this
and they live.
is this what
What?
you were talking about last time at length?
Yeah. Well, hold on. There's something I learned about them.
Oh, okay.
They live. I'm just setting the stage for people who might not have seen it already,
Okay.
or who did not see the last one. So, they live in the desert, they live in the wastes, and something I learned about. Did I mention about like roof mistresses at all? That sounds dirty, but it's not.
I'll be your
I don't
roof
think
mistress.
I did.
I don't think so.
So I learned something about the culture that Robert Jordan wrote for them is that because it is high fantasy and it's written by a white dude in the 90s, so like generally men are the leaders, of course. So there is that level of sexism. But in the Isle, Isle, I can't. It's like Isle,
Yeah.
whatever. It just sounds weird. They the men are clan chief. The clan chiefs are men, but a roof mistress is generally like the wife of a clan chief, and she doesn't just like run. When I say she runs the home, I don't mean just like runs the home. She owns it. And so and if the clan chief, so wait, like in a marriage, the woman owns the house in a marriage in Isle culture. And so when it gets up to the clan chief, the wife owns the town slash city slash whatever they call it, like their settlement. So and every time they return, they have to ask permission to enter. Like, can we stay here?
Huh.
So if the roof mistress, who she's the one that like runs the house, runs the town, says no, I mean that's going to cause like a rift in the clan, because you just basically the clan chief and the clan wife are like fuck that, and they split apart, which can cause a rift. But like it's really interesting that like basically upon getting married, like they have to give, like the woman gets a place to live, like that she gets a house and she has the right to domain, like it's not just taking care of it, she owns it, and
Mm.
they have to ask permission to return. I thought that was like a really interesting, like I don't know what to, it's not, there's no commentary. I was just like, oh, that's different. I never would have thought of an idea like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the old vampire rule. You have to.
Is it
And
a,
isn't that a vampire thing? You have to ask permission to enter. Vampires have to get
they
permission
have
to.
to ask permission for, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know, but so I've been reading, I finished that book and it was fantastic. It ended on a lot of like, there's a lot of left, like not a full on cliffhanger, but it
Mm.
left off with like in the middle of the story, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from there.
Nice.
um what I've been reading to my daughter, who's 5 now, which is crazy. I don't know if we streamed the last since her birthday.
I think she was about
But
to
we've
have
been
a
reading
party.
something like that. I don't know. But she we've been reading chapter books to her,
Mhm.
which has been really cool. Like, and she's following along with the story, and she's really into. I'm going to bring it up on screen because I brought the first book from her room. We already read it. We're on like book 6 now. Dragon Girls.
Oh wow!
And I love the artwork. I think it's really cute.
It's the furry
Like,
gateway
I love it.
drug.
Pretty much. And well, almost quite literally, because the whole thing is that they are girls who get transported to the magic forest, and when they're in the magic forest, they're dragons. Like they're no
Wow.
longer humans. They are dragons. So they turn into dragons and they have magical roars and stuff like that. It's
That's
really cute.
awesome.
It like I there's a lot of them, and they have just enough like small little illustrations in the pages
Oh.
and stuff like that, so like periodically she can look at something and be like, oh, okay, I understand this now.
Hmm.
There's a tree queen who always needs help, and so she calls the dragon girls to come to the magic forest, and the villains are the shadow sprites, and they when a shadow sprite is near you, you have a lot of self-doubt, and so a lot of the book involves shadow sprites getting near the dragon girls, getting doubting themselves, and then be like, nah, I can't give up when I'm with my friends. It's a little cliche,
That's adorable.
but once again, it's for younger kids. So as
Yeah.
much as it's like I'm not like getting a whole lot out of it, but I love that she is, and it's like this gateway into fantasy for her, and I really want her to be into fantasy.
Oh.
It's really cute. So she loves getting read. She loves being read those stories. Like she really likes it. And whenever they wind up for a war, because my daughter likes to, she was obsessed with the Lion King for a while, and she, I shit you not, she has mastered like a roar. She makes it sound like a like that, but it's really loud.
What?
And
Nice.
it's crazy, dude. And so she does roars all, like there's one time I'm like doing work, and she's like, because we don't turn the TV on in the morning. We have to wait for a while, and then we can watch it. Then we can watch TV. So when she's like kind of occupying herself, figuring out what to do, she was like over in the corner, playing, with toys or whatnot. And then all of a sudden, I noticed for like 2 minutes, she just keeps going like over and over and over again. And
She's
I'm
a
like,
dragon girl.
what are you doing? No, this was before Dragon Girls.
Oh.
And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm painting with my roars. Like, don't you see my roar painting? And she the wall, and obviously there's nothing there. It's a blank wall. But I go, oh, that's amazing.
That's
A
great.
roar painting. You're painting with your roars.
Oh. She's painting with all the colors
really
of the
fun.
wind.
She has not seen Pocahontas yet. No, what we did find out about though, she can handle new movies, but it's the sound, like we've noticed she gets very anxious very easily. And we found it's the soundtrack. It's when the music swells and it gives her when the music swells and there's something like scary or like heart racing or pounding, or if there's something sad, she just melts down. Like she can't handle it. She doesn't know what to
Oh.
do with her emotions. And it's so hard as a parent, because I want to be like the adult in me wants to be like, it's just a fucking movie. watch what happens, and then you're not going to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But that's obviously, you can't do that. You have to, validate their feelings, help them, teach them how to manage it, and go from there. And yes, Pocahontas is low-key problematic.
Yeah, it's high key
just a little.
problematic. Yeah.
But yeah, so been reading that, and the other thing I've been reading, got to reflavor it as Avatar, and it's
Totally
for a cool $1 billion at the box office.
Yeah, we've watched
the other thing I've
1
been
and 2
reading
to prepare for 3 for that. I haven't seen Avatar 3 yet, but I'm going to next week probably. And I understand all the problematic stuff behind it.
I have not seen 2. I saw the first one, never saw any of the others. Not that interested.
That's good.
After I finished the 4th book of Wheel of Time, I jumped into reading the Narnia books again.
Right. And you're reading her the first one, right?
I read her the first one and she really liked it. And she asked to read the second, and I was like, well, let me read it first so I know what's in it. Because, like, it's, once again, written by a Christian dude in the 50s. Like, there's going to be some, like, there's, even in Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, there was stuff where it was like, well, men do this and women do that. So I changed, like, the term, the phrasing around like that, because I didn't want to put those gender roles on it. So,
I mean,
Prince
once
Caspian,
you get past the, like, animal orgies, that book's pretty tame.
Animal orgies? What version are you reading?
Oh, wait, no, I think that was Stephen King.
But in Prince Caspian, there wasn't a lot of necessary. There's problematic stuff, of course, like women do this, men do that. But it was just a little too violent. There was talks about, like, slitting throats, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to change that without, like, to keep its intent.
Yeah.
Like, keep its, like, keep the story flow, like, make it made sense.
Yeah.
The thing that blew me away about Prince Caspian, though, was some of the events in it was surprising. So when you think of, I know I kind of jumped over the place, but the events in the book surprised me. I'll tell you why. Mild spoilers for Prince Caspian, just a heads up for everyone. It's not going to spoil the whole story, but just mild spoilers. Remember, this is written by a British man in the 40s/50s. The 50s are when this book came out.
Right.
In the 1950s. And he's a Christian British man. So
I'm waiting for Shoshan the Elegant, the White Tiger King.
So he so in this in Prince Caspian, one of the main storylines is like I don't know, do you care about spoilers at all, Andrew?
No.
Okay.
Not that I make the rules, but I think you're valid for spoiling a kid's book.
I just want to make sure, because so what's cool about Prince Caspian is, like, after the events of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, they go. A year has passed, because the kids come back. They turn from adults back to kids when they come back to the real world, and God damn, my hair is not cooperating with me. Whatever. They come back to the real world, and then a year of real world time passes, and they get sucked back into Narnia, and they don't know why just yet. And when they go back to Narnia, it's been hundreds of years since they were kings and queens.
Whoa.
So the castle they stayed in at the end of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, completely in ruins, like completely in shambles. Many of the magical beasts are missing. They're not there, and it's because Western invaders, the Telmarines, came over to this eastern country and either subjugated or killed off the indigenous people.
Oh no,
the magical beasts.
Oh,
and I was like, they're bad. The Telmarines are bad guys.
Yeah,
because they came in and they and it's
so a British Christian dude in the 50s saying colonization bad is pretty radical.
He doesn't go far enough, because what happens is basically, because remember, the Narnia was ruled by human, I should say, with Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. So when the Telmarines come in, the king of it is Miraz, and he's awful. He doesn't want to ever hear about the magical beast. It's been hundreds and hundreds of years. There's been the cast the person who invaded Narnia. It was 10 generations ago.
Jeez.
So this is maybe 1,000, 800 to 1,000 years in the future type of thing, right? Maybe, I don't know. I'm just speculating. So he's bad, but he has a nephew named Prince Caspian, hence the name of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And his nanny would tell him stories of old Narnia as folklore, and folklore, and he loved it. He thought it was so cool. And anytime he tried to bring it up to his uncle was just like, "What did she teach you? Filling your head with lies." And he doesn't kill her, but he sends her off. He banishes her. So he brings in a tutor. The tutor happens to be half human, half dwarf, and dwarves were part of the magical beings that were thought to be extinct, never existed type of thing. But they do exist. They just went into hiding. The Narnians that could pass stayed in public, and the Narnians that couldn't hid.
Damn.
And so he tells him no, these stories are real. And so Caspian grows up loving these stories, and then he learns from then one night though, his uncle and his wife have a baby boy, and now the uncle has an heir to the throne. So his tutor's like, "You got to get out of here. He's going to kill you because he didn't like you. He kept you around just because you were blood, and he figured if he's not going to have an heir, then you can be the heir. But now that he has one, it doesn't matter to him anymore. So you got to get out of here. Also, your uncle, you might, because your uncle, he's not a good dude. Not only because he hates Narnians, but he also had he had your dad killed, and he had any sympathizers to your dad shipped off. So Caspian is technically the rightful king to what is now Narnia by the Telmarines or whatever, and whatnot. So it's the reason I give all that is because, and I say he doesn't go far enough in his in a weird semi-criticism of colonization, even though I don't know if that's what he even intended. I doubt it. But is because Prince Caspian still ends up ruling Narnia. The descendant of the Telmarine invader still rules Narnia, but he actually likes Narnians, and he cultivates the indigenous people to, he doesn't subjugate them. He lets them do their thing. I shouldn't say lets them. He genuinely cares about them. He genuinely likes it. And any of the Telmarines, at the end of the book, any of the Telmarines who don't want to can just fuck off, pretty much. That's how, there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
But I'm reading this, and I'm like, this is a fucking kid's book, and it's touching on ideas of colonialism and, political, assassinations and intrigue.
Dang.
And I'm like, what? And I was thinking about this. I'm like, this is a book that conservative Christians point to. This series is their Lord of the Rings, even though Lord of the Rings also has Christian undertones, but it's it's their fantasy series. And I'm like, once again, not surprising. Where as a former Christian myself, the lack of media literacy is fucking astounding. And listen, I'm not saying it's still not problematic, because technically a Western invader is still ruling an Eastern indigenous country.
But he's a good colonizer.
It very much kind of he still is a colonizer, but he's a good colonizer. He didn't know any. He genuinely did not know any better. He's the 10th Caspian in the line. The first Caspian is the one who invaded Narnia. But yeah, it was just I was blown away by it. I was just so surprised by I like the plot setup. It's 1,000 years in the future. What happens? Why is Narnia the way it is? But C.S. Lewis's writing is very kind of it leaves a lot to the imagination. It's very bare bones. So and the dialogue isn't particularly good. It's serviceable. It feels like you're just getting there from point A to point B, but there's very few lines in it where I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
George
Lucas syndrome.
I finished that, and then I finished that, and then I'm on to the next book, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and I'm almost done it, actually. I'm 2/3 of the way through. But I wanted to show the art. Look at the cover art for that.
Oh, that's pretty rad. Look, that backlighting.
Isn't that cool?
Them. Yeah.
Yeah. a serpent that's a mouse named Reepicheep. He's like a foot tall and he's full of spunk and he's fucking awesome. Um, and then I'm pretty sure that's probably Prince Caspian. But I love the artwork of that.
Yeah, that
Right,
is cool.
in the backs,
Oh, it's like a
the
full
all of the books. Yeah,
the front and back. I love that.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I love the artwork for this. So I've been enjoying rereading the. So I've when I was a kid, I read Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian, and I read about half of Voyage of the Dawn Treader before I lost interest. Um, and then when I was in like high school, I read The Magician's Nephew, like that, and in rereading it now, I've reread The Magician's Nephew already, reread Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Prince Caspian, and now I'm over halfway through Voyage of the Dawn Treader, so I'm in like uncharted territories
Dang.
for the series for me now. I haven't read any of the others with it. Um, Voyage of the Dawn Treader is pretty fun so far though, because remember how I said like in Prince Caspian, like King Miraz had the real King Caspian killed, and then any sympathizers or people who are still loyal to the Caspian lineage was kind of politically either executed or just kind of pushed off.
Mm.
Well, he sent 7 lords out to sea to like explore the world, basically as a way to be like, get the fuck out of here, I don't want to deal with you. And they were never to be found. So Voyage of the Dawn Treader, now that Caspian is king, it takes place 3 years later, like in Narnia years later, and they're going to explore the Eastern Sea to find out what happened to these 7 lords
Mm.
that his uncle banished, that you learned about in the second book. And each island has like so far each island has had like really interesting like e- as they're exploring there's a handful of known islands, but then as they go farther east, they don't like these islands are unknown. There was
Mm.
one that was really cool where like uh they were coming up to it and they saw 2 streams coming down from the mountain, and they were going to go to the closer one then, but for I forget why, but they give a reason as to go to the farther away one, and it was a good thing they did, because the one that was closer, it was like enchanted, so anything you dip into it turns into gold.
Whoa.
And there was a dude who like jumped into it for a splash, not knowing it was going to do that, and you see this gold statue of a man just like in a swimming position
Oh no.
underwater. It was really wild.
That's kind of cool.
So anyway, sorry, that was very long-winded. I said it wouldn't take long, but I went on a whole thing about Prince Caspian, and it's pretty cool. Like it's nothing that like I would say is like a must read, but this was a series that meant a lot to me as a kid, what I did read of it. So
Yeah.
it's been fun getting to revisit it and also seeing it from an adult perspective. Like I said, like
Yeah.
I was very surprised by like fucking like what is it, the fact that like the whole commentary about colonialism, whether it was actually that or not, I doubt it. Once again, s- stodgy Christian British man from the 50s probably wasn't like that anti-colonialism or even aware of it if he cared.
Yeah.
um I don't know, but I did find it interesting that it was Western invaders coming into an Eastern country and subjugating the
Yeah.
indigenous population, which is magical creatures. I'm like, hmm.
Hmm.
Or also a political leader getting rid of his political enemies in dubious ways. We wouldn't know anything about that in about a political leader going after their political adversaries
Yeah.
in less than moral ways.
Nah. This
Not
is
in the
fantasy.
slightest.
Total fantasy. What an escape from real world.
Doesn't happen at all.
Yeah.
It was just, but it was just, it's been fun to read it. It's been a lot of fun. And I'm excited to see where the rest of the books go. But after I finish Voyage of the Dawn Treader, I am going to read The Hobbit
Nice. I love
finally.
The
And
Hobbit.
since I have it right here, I know I showed it on a stream previously, but the art's still fucking awesome. So
Yeah. I love a good gold foil.
yeah, I'm excited to. I've read The Hobbit before, but it's been a while, so I'm going to reread it, and then I will eventually read Lord of the Rings for the first time in earnest.
Dang. In earnest, he says. Earnest goes to
In
jail.
earnest. I did it before unearnestly,
Yeah.
where I just kind of mocked it the whole time. But no,
Anti-earnest.
I'm excited. And I read it anti-earnestly.
Yeah. I read it back to front out of
Ernest go-
spite.
Vern, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like Ernest Goes to School.
Ernest goes to
just
Middle Earth.
the anti-Ernest.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this Gandalf?
Oh man, what a guy.
Oh my word. So yeah, that's what I'm sure there's other stuff that I've been playing Yoshi's Island, I've been playing Return to Castle Wolfenstein for Punch a Nazi month.
Hell yeah.
Which is coming back, baby. Punch a Nazi month. Unfortunately, more applicable than ever.
Unfortunately.
But
And yes, Jimmy,
unfortunately,
the
but
world
yeah,
does need a new
it'd be fun.
Ernest. I mean, who could even pick up that role? If they did a new Ernest, like,
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of like a silly kind of kooky looking up and coming. I mean, you'd probably have to go with a comedian. I'm not that big on like newer comedians though.
Hmm.
I don't know. An easier question might a younger Charlie Day could have done it. That's a pull. You were talking about if Lord of the Rings came out in the 90s and if it had like Tom Cruise in it. Who would you cast or what character would you cast Tom Cruise as and which Hobbit would it be? They wouldn't even need to do any camera trickery.
Honestly, if I like thinking about it seriously, I would probably say Mary.
Oh.
I think he's too smug to be Frodo or Sam.
Yeah. I think, I mean, if it actually did come out in the 90s, they probably would have just had him be Aragorn.
Not Charlie Day would be solid. I see the vision.
I think, yeah, I mean, he was leading man heartthrob, so he would probably be Aragorn or maybe Legolas if that came out in the 90s.
Oh man, that would be. I mean, I don't. I know what I would love to see, especially something else I experienced, and I don't know. I apologize, but I just because I know there's something else you want to bring up, but you just reminded me of it. So the reason I got to this, first off, thinking of Lord of the Rings, I want to see a Muppet Lord of the Rings because that'd be fucking great.
Yes.
Like, and then. In turn, did you see the new Muppet Show that just came out last week?
I saw that it did come out, but I haven't watched it. I want to though. I was saying like
it's pretty good.
For ages, I was like, we need a new Muppet Show. Like this is the time for the Muppet Show to come back. Like there's so
it really
much.
Is something that's just not serious at all. Like not silly
Yeah.
sorry, just pure silliness. It's not serious at all.
Yeah, but that they could still. I mean, the Muppet Show always had a little bit of the times edge and commentary. There's a lot that they could work with now. I do want to watch that.
So the only thing I'll say there's very few things that made me laugh out loud, but the one part I like because Sabrina Carpenter was the guest on it,
right? And
she sang her song "Man-Child," but her backup singers were all of Gonzo's chickens.
What?
So. Whatever, how she goes, man-child, why you always come a-running to me? Or however it goes.
I don't think I've
Every time she goes, man-child, you hear bark, 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 bark. Like as the background singers. Wow. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
That's very Muppets. I have
one other Muppets thing that I experienced, but I will save it till we get to go.
Oh, okay. So I was going to bring up, when we were talking about weird movies, I have a bunch of things that I experienced around Christmas that I've been putting off because we always talk too long, or we like miss some time, or I'm in the hospital, or I'm out of the hospital. Did I talk about a movie called Angel's Egg on here before?
I don't believe so.
Okay. You want to talk about weird, spicy? If you want a weird ass movie, it's not new, but if you're in the market for a weird ass movie, It came out in probably the late 80s. It's an anime. It was made by the guy who made Ghost in the Shell. It's kind of like if you watched Nausicaa on acid while having a war PTSD flashback.
Okay.
It's super weird. There's very little dialogue. There's maybe like, I don't even know, probably under 10 lines of dialogue in this movie. It's all just vibes. Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna watch it. So definitely go in with an open mind. It is weird. It is very weird. It feels like something where he was just like, and I think actually, was Hideki Anno a part of this one? I think the Evangelion creator also had something to do with it. But basically, it's in like this. It's on another planet. There is a war that has gone on or is just ending. But there's most of the people in this city are dead. And then there's this little girl who has this egg, this big ass egg, and she's guarding it with her life, and we don't know why. And she meets this soldier, and it's
Was this on your graphic that you posted?
no, I don't think so. Because I
You
don't
posted a graphic about your top 10 experiences. I wasn't sure if it was on there or not.
Yeah, no, I wanted to put that in honorable mentions, but I don't know if it would hit the top because I liked it a lot. It's just very weird and very experimental. But it's one of the prettiest and most detailed animations I've ever seen. Like so much of that movie is just a flex. The animators just flexing. It is stunning. It is very like, actually, honestly, I could see something like Berserk and something like Dark Souls getting a lot of inspiration from this movie. Very gothic, dark, strange fantasy. I don't want to say too much about it. Yeah, Jimmy's looking at screenshots. It's very visually
What's
wild.
the name of it again? Sorry.
Angel's Egg. She's like the girl's like, she has this egg and she's like, it's an angel egg.
It's from 1985.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
Wow.
Bloodborne vibes. Yeah, totally. It's like you can see where a lot of, especially Japanese creators, like
I see a little bit of Yoshitaka Amano from like the Final Fantasy art.
Yes,
it's not his art, is it?
It is. No, you're totally right. I said Hideki Anno, but it's Yoshitaka Amano. That's the other creator. So they paired up and made a movie. That's why it looks so freaking gorgeous. But then it's the creator of Ghost in the Shell, so of course it's going to be very weird, existential. I wouldn't say like go in expecting a good time, but it is a time, and it's a wild one. If you want something weird, if you're like, I want something to just be weird and unsettling, that's the one. I'm just getting into anime, excited to jump into the deep. Oh my god, if you're just getting into anime, this is like one of the deepest ends. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like I have to apologize for this recommendation now if you're just getting into anime.
Dude, I haven't watched anime in so long. It's been
man.
I do miss it at times. Saw Paprika and loved it. I've never watched Paprika.
Okay. Paprika is the one that inspired, or I should say, the one that Inception ripped off by
Satoshi Kon.
Satoshi Kon. Yeah, the creator of
I tried watching Perfect Blue, and that was just weird.
That's a real weird one. I would say if you're going to watch any of his work, Paprika is a safe choice. I would actually watch the Paranoia Agent, the series.
I also watched Tokyo Godfathers, but I don't remember. There's certain movies that I've watched, like anime movies I watched, where it was like I was too young to understand what was happening in it.
Yeah.
I feel like now, in my mid-30s, I'd be able to watch it, and follow it. Oh my gosh, follow it a lot better, a lot easier.
it is wild to me that you brought up Tokyo Godfathers, because you know what else I watched around Christmas this year, last
Well,
year?
it takes place at Christmas.
Yes. So, my girlfriend and I were like, I don't know why I said that like you don't know her. Polisa and I were thinking of like Christmas movies to watch, or like holiday movies around to like that were off the beaten path, you know. And I was like, there's this movie that I hadn't seen in a really long time, and I remember it being incredible and very a real tearjerker, and it was Tokyo Godfathers, and we watched it, and holy crap! If you just want to cry, a good cry, like a sad cry, but also a good cry, that's a great one. The first time I watched it in Japanese, by the way, because normally when I watched it as a kid a lot, I think I had the DVD of it and I would watch the dub. But for some reason, we could only find it in subbed on like streaming and or rental sites. I think we watched it for free on like Pluto or something. But really good.
Wow, you traveled
Surprising.
to space? No.
Very surprisingly progressive, especially for Japan, and in the like early 2000s. This came out in like, I don't know, 2003 or something.
2005. I saw earlier.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, you're right. 2003. My bad. You're right. 2003.
But yeah, like one of the characters is a trans woman, and they don't. They use some language that, or at least in the subtitles, they use like F slurs, and it's like, whoa, oh, okay, I haven't seen that word like written out in a while. But they don't make her the butt of a joke. Or when they are, it's not because she's trans. And it's a really heartfelt story with, I mean, I would say, so it's like, they're trying, you know, like there is still a kind of tropey thing to do, trans representation in Japanese media where they're really just like, buff guys in drag with like 5 o'clock shadows and stuff. And it's like, that's kind of played for a joke. And there are some characters like that, but she is for the most part, just an earnest representation of a trans woman, and they're homeless.
That's cool.
So
awesome.
For just the most basic premise, it follows 3. I know you've seen it, or have you seen it?
I have. I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Oh, okay.
About
Well, for you and viewers, it follows 3 homeless people in Tokyo on Christmas Eve, and there's like a guy who's run away from his family, or a teenage girl who's run away from her abusive family, a guy who has like ruined his life with gambling and stuff, and this trans woman who's been ostracized from her family, and they find a newborn baby in the trash. And then they're trying to care for this baby, and it brings them all together. But then they all have like their own people from their own stories that are somehow weirdly tied to this baby come in and out, and it all weaves together into this like ridiculous. The Yakuza gets involved. Like, it's wild. It's funny. It's so heartfelt, and it'll make you cry.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to rewatching some stuff if I ever get a chance to watch anime. I never do. I have to set aside time for it, but now that I'm setting aside time for reading, I don't have time to.
Yeah.
Also, but with that said, reading I can do even when my kid is awake, because it's not like she can read what's happening in the books, right?
That's true.
I can't watch like anime unless it's appropriate for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though I did show her she liked a little bit of the Pokemon cartoon. And it's not anime, but I'm thinking of classic like cartoons. I showed her the original TMNT cartoon, and she likes that.
Oh, the 80s one.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's been cool. But that's awesome though. I Satoshi Kon, there's a YouTube channel I've talked about before called Every Frame a Painting. They did a video on Satoshi Kon's work, and
yeah.
I just remember like them Yeah, I don't remember much about what they said. I just remember it was really interesting, and it
Yeah.
made me like want to watch more of his stuff.
He's a great creator. I liked his video on that on Satoshi Kon, and I liked the video of the Scott Pilgrim one because, or I think it's all Edgar Wright, because of course he's one of my favorite directors. Spicy says we should petition to make a Tokyo Grandmothers. Yeah, totally, or Godmothers. But yeah, so then this wasn't Chris. Oh no, it does take place on Christmas. Another thing we watched that I know you are intimately familiar with, that I got to show Polisa for the first time, and I forgot how fucking weird it is. Another anime. I'll see if you can guess. It takes place also around Christmas. It's from the same time. I would say probably. I think it came out in 2004. Same time. You made a big portion of this movie your personality for a while. We talked.
Karas.
Yeah. Yes. Uh, do you remember? Well, I'll get to this in a second. So Karas, it was an OVA. So if you don't know, now you know. Sometimes they'll put out specials like short animes. Like I've talked about a show called Gunbuster, which I just rewatched again and it's so good. But it's like 6 episodes long of the most high quality animation you've ever seen. And oftentimes over here they'll release it as like a movie. So it's I think 8 episodes. So an hour and a half each, maybe 2 hours. But they put out in 2 movies, and it's basically like I didn't realize because I don't know what made me realize it, but watching it again, I was like, oh my god, this is just Super Sentai. Like he's a Kamen Rider, basically. He's a masked, like superhero character that has a suit and he has a whole transformation sequence and everything. Like he's a Power Ranger. Like, but the story is basically if like Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, Tokusatsu in general, whatever have you, if that took place in like the world of Inuyasha or not Inuyasha because that's in the past, Bleach maybe. It has to do with like demons but it's modern day Tokyo. And there's
It's been a while since I've seen Karas, but I remember because Karas is weird because like when they released it in North America, they split it into 2 movies, right?
Yeah, and the first movie, like a movie, is just the end of like episode 4 or something. So it ends just like a TV show would, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?" Like that's the end of the movie.
Yep.
Oh, it's my bedtime. Have a good night. Thanks for all the movie recs. Yeah, no
Thanks
problem,
for stopping
Spicy.
by, Spicy.
Yeah. Cheers. And yeah, Jimmy. Oh yeah, because Jimmy and I were talking about Super Sentai the other day. So basically, there's a demon world that's like parallel to ours. The demons are starting to come through because of some evil guy. It's a pretty typical story. And then there's this hero character called a Karas, which, if you don't know, Karasu in Japanese is crow. So he's got this sick black armor, all black and gold armor. He
really
fights with a katana. He's super good designs. And he transforms into that. But the problem is that this current Karas has no memory. So he can turn into Karas and fight, but he doesn't know why he is. He's actually a doctor. He's a demon doctor. So he like goes into the demon world and helps, the heal the demons and stuff. But yeah, it is, if you watch the first 5 minutes of Karas and don't like it, don't watch the rest of it. That opening sequence where the 2 guys are fighting in the air. So the main bad guy is like an evil of a previous Karas that has turned evil. So you have these 2 suited up, like sword fighting, but then the suit also lets them transform into jets and shit, like fighting in midair. And they're going so fast that at one point, that iconic scene where they go kicking towards each other and it goes into super slow-mo and you see like the individual snowflakes like hitting on their armor and shattering like glass. It's so stylish and so cool. And so over the top. Do highly recommend, still recommend it despite what I'm about to say. Josh, do you remember in the second movie where he meets his brother, who's also his father?
No, I remember so little of it.
This isn't like a spoiler, but it's just like the Otoha, the main character, like meets his brother who's a Yakuza don or whatever, and he's like, his brother casually drops like, "Oh yeah, when I fucked your slut of a mother and had you," and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like, I forgot about that, and Police is like sitting next to me like, "What the fuck are we watching right now?" And it's a very quick scene, but I was like, "Why? God damn it! Why did we need to do this? It has no bearing on the plot other than just to make you hate this guy." Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Anyway,
I have not seen that movie in so long.
Yeah.
Those movies, excuse me. I'd be very curious to see like what I think of them now. Like, cause I remember I think the reason like I named everything Karas, one, I just thought it sounded cool.
Yeah.
Cause it's funny when you said it made it a big part of my personality. I think I made the name part of my personality. I remember next to nothing about the anime.
No.
I just remember the anime, like it stuck with me because like the first half, when you watch that first movie, you're like, a bunch of cool shit's happening, and then like you said, that cliffhanger ending, you're just confused beyond all reason. But then you watch the second movie and it ties everything together, and you're like, oh shit, this is really cool. I love this. And I remember that was one of the first times where like I had an experience with media where like, what is it? You know, that meme of like, oh, they had us in the first half.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
Where I really thought it was bad. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they had us in the first half. But and obviously it redeems itself in the second. So that was the first time I experienced a type of media like the first time I can remember experiencing a type of media like that, where like the first half of it was just, ugh, and the second half it made the first half better because I understood everything now.
Yeah, I would say I went into it being like, I haven't watched this in probably 15 years. I remember it being really cool. I remember not understanding a lot of it, and I was like, I'll probably, I'm in my 30s now. I think it'll make a lot more sense. It still doesn't make any goddamn sense. But it's cool as shit. It's super cool. Some of it makes sense, but there are some things where I'm like, it gives you the feeling that there's a whole nother. Have you ever accidentally watched a movie for an anime that you didn't watch the anime for, and you didn't know that there was other content?
Did I just lose you?
Oh no, are you?
You just cut off. The last thing you asked was, did you ever watch a movie for an anime in the anime? And then that was the last thing you said.
That's weird. I hope we're not losing our connection again.
I don't think so.
You and
I think it just cut out.
No. I was saying, did you ever watch an anime's movie without watching the anime beforehand? Like there was
I've never done that.
There was an anime called Escaflowne, and I watched the movie for it because it was in my local Blockbuster, and I was like, this looks cool. I've never heard of this before. And it was rad, but I had no idea what was going on. And that was because I didn't watch the anime prior.
I might have done that with Escaflowne as well.
Yeah.
But I genuinely can't remember. I feel like I have, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Well,
that's how watching Karas feels. Even though, like, it made me go back and look to see, like, was there other media for this that I just never, even a manga or something? Nope. It just doesn't explain a lot of things.
That's like the 6-episode arc that they put into 2 movies.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay.
Which is fucked up because it makes you have to watch both the movies back to back. You can't just, like, watch one movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then stop.
Yeah, which we did. We split it up a little bit.
Like, when you watch it, you're committed to 3 hours. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, no, like that's kind of what we did. We watched the first one, and then we went to bed, and then we were going to watch the next one the next day, and then I think we got interrupted, and then it was a couple days later, and we watched the second one, and I was like, oh, yeah, wait, right. Even though I had already seen it. It's a bit tough to follow, but some of the coolest fight scenes I've ever seen. And they do a really good job with mixing, especially for it being like early 2000s, mixing the CGI with the hand-drawn anime. Because they do it intentionally. Mm-hmm. Like all the big like super monster boss fights that he has are CGI monsters. So it's not like certain things. Like sometimes I'll be watching an anime and be like, why are only the horses CGI? It looks so ugly and weird. Like, but yeah. So rewatched that. Rewatched Tokyo Godfathers. I'll just run through a real quick a couple of other things. Started playing what is probably going to be my game of the year, which is Astrobot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finally
it's so
started
good.
it.
It's so fucking good.
I love it. I love it a lot, and I was expecting to love it a lot. I think so far, I think Astro's Playroom is a better game, even though it's
interesting.
I think it's because it's so. Astro's Playroom feels so intentional, and it's there's a universal theme. Every world is themed off of a different part of the inside of the PlayStation, so it feels a bit disjointed in Astrobot going. Like, I feel like it falls apart a bit theme-wise, where you're like, oh, here's the jungle level, here's the construction level, here's the water level. And I like, you know, it starts to like repeat some things, and you have to if you're going to do like a full feature-length game like that. Feature-length, like it's a movie. But I think the Astro's Playroom feels more like a curated experience. And I love.
would agree with that. Yeah, sorry, finish what you were saying.
I love having more content, and there's so much more to do. But I feel like what you do in Astro's Playroom is more impactful and a tighter experience, I guess.
See, I disagree. So hold on. I agree and I disagree. I agree that it is more like focused because it kind of has to be for what it is. It's a tech demo. But I think that's also its biggest detriment. Not that it's focused, that it's a tech demo. Because I found like when you get to the levels that you have to do like the monkey arms, and like the whole level is like monkey arms. Oh my god, I hate that. I hate that so much.
Really?
Like, I know they have it in Astrobot, but it feels more spaced out. Like, as opposed to like a really large chunk of nothing but that. So you're spending the 5 minutes going like this over and over and over again. And because everything's focused, the gimmicks are all focused in, so you get all of it in one swoop instead of pacing yourself throughout the game.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. I'll give it that.
That's the only reason I like Astrobot more. Also, Astrobot, like I like the creativity with the extra like power ups, which I don't know how far you are into it yet. So I don't want to spoil what. I don't want to spoil anything.
I think I'm in the third like nebula. Or I think I'm about to start the Snake Nebula. I think I did Gorilla and Octopus. Is Snake the third one?
Yes, so Snake is the third. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Snake's the third one. Then there's like a bird that's like the fourth or something like that. And then I forget what the fifth one is.
Yeah, I forget if I've started.
Maybe Bird's the fifth.
Snake. But I did to completion the first two. I've been going level by level and just like getting everything 100% all the way through.
Do you get the hidden exits too?
Yeah, which is super cool. I love those weird little levels. I like lost my shit when I found an Abe robot. I was not expecting to have Oddworld representation, because I forget sometimes that Abe and Oddworld is such a PlayStation staple, because I played it on PC because I didn't have a PS1 as a kid. I played it on computer. And when I saw him doing his little sneak thing, I was like, oh my god! So that was rad.
Yep. Yeah.
And of course, all the, Metal Gear references and like
Metal Gear.
And getting the little, I like that you get the robots and then you also get like a little set piece for them. Like you'll get Alucard and then you'll get like his coffin, or you'll get Snake and then or like Psycho Mantis, and then you'll get like his television with the controller plugged into the second port because that's the only way to beat him in Metal Gear Solid 1. Like, it's such, and I still love how much of a love letter it is to PlayStation games and gaming in general. Like, it's such a, and I said this about Playroom as well, it's the most video game that has existed in a really long time. And I love it.
Well, I love it because there's something that I miss in some games where I feel like games are trying to be cool too often. Like, I don't think that games, it's bad, but like, I think sometimes games try to be cool as well as fun instead of just allowing itself just to be pure, like almost like unironically cringy fun. And I mean cringy as a compliment.
Yeah.
Right? Where,
like unapologetically goofy
yes.
and fun.
Yes. And I've been thinking about this a little bit. There's a phrase that a lot of I haven't seen directed at me, though I'm sure it would if I ever encountered a Gen Zer, but that Gen Z directs at millennials. They call millennial cringe. Have you heard this before? Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, they're 6'7". You want to talk about cringe, bro?
Well, I whatever. Every generation had like their 6'7" is their game.
Yeah. God damn it.
You're welcome. But like. It doesn't, whatever, every generation has their thing of like that's a inside joke type of whatever. Yeah. But I think something that like they talk about millennial cringe, I'm like, why are you so afraid to show your emotions? That says me that tells me, and part of that I think it's because they grew up in an era where everything is fucking recorded. Like apparently I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard somewhere I saw like some interview, like some like intellectuals fucking talking on YouTube, so this is very anecdotal and not like evidence, but like kids aren't dancing because dancing means that you get put on video and video can get shared online. Yeah. And blah blah blah. I don't know if that's true or not. I'll find out when my kid gets to a certain age, whatever. But like the fact that they're so afraid to show their fucking emotions, I'm like, oh my god, like that's what it means to be human.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit if it's cringy? I will happily profess my love for something or hate of something, and be like unabashed with how much I love it. And I think the reason that makes me think of all that is Astrobot is so unabashedly a love letter to video games and gamers and game history, PlayStation game history.
Yeah.
And I talked about this. I guested on my buddy Dave Jackson's podcast, Tales from the Backlog. Phenomenal gaming podcast. Great gaming discussions. It's very much worth. It is very much worth watching, like listening to his show. But in December last year, I did an episode with him on Astrobot, and one of the things we talk about on the episode was like, is Astrobot pandering nostalgia, or is the nostalgia in Astrobot used well? Because sometimes nostalgia in games and like game companies put out, it's very pandery. It's like, hey, you remember this? Don't you love this nostalgia?
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like that. They're not you. I mentioned in the episode, if you take all of the PlayStation references, historical references out of this game, it would still be a good game.
Sure.
I do think the PlayStation references give people like us that emotional boost that we wouldn't have had, and we wouldn't be as emotionally connected with it. But if you take all of that out, Astrobot's just a fucking good game.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good game. And yeah, it's just fantastic. Though I will say the final like extra levels in each galaxy are which let you play using the mechanics of a different series.
Oh yeah.
Like mechanics like Ape Escape in the Gorilla Galaxy.
Right. Or the God of War, the Bot of War.
Oh, it's so good. Wait till you see the others. There's actually one, I guarantee you're not going to. There's one, when you look back in popular PlayStation franchises, Ape Escape, a little bit of, not a crazy deep cut, but it's not really on the tip of everyone's tongues.
Right. Especially not anymore.
It's like Yeah, I would say it's a deep cut only because the series isn't really relevant. No offense to Ape Escape fans, it's just you
No,
haven't seen
it's been dormant.
much of it recently.
Yeah.
Um, but it was outrageously popular and all that stuff. And but then the next one is God of War,
Of
obviously
course.
huge PlayStation franchise.
Yeah.
If you were to guess at some of the others, like throw out a name of an iconic. I won't tell you one way or another. I won't
Okay.
spoil it for you. But throw out like a name of an iconic PlayStation franchise that you could see being one of those extra levels.
I would have to imagine Uncharted is in there. I would love like a weird one like Parappa the Rapper or something where it's like all rhythm based.
Yeah.
I selfishly want a whole Oddworld one, but I know I'm not going to get that. Maybe Metal Gear. I could see them doing a Metal Gear one.
Good answers. Those are all good answers. Yeah, I won't say if any were or were not included. I won't spoil that for you because that's kind of the fun of it,
Yeah,
Like it's
no,
kind
I'm
of fun
glad.
seeing what each one is. But
Yeah.
there is one you will not like. You'll never would have guessed in a million years.
Nice.
And
love
actually,
that.
if I'm remembering correctly, it's not the current galaxy you are in. It is the galaxy after that.
Okay. Nice. I'm stoked. Maybe I'll get there by the time we do our next episode. Probably not though, because I've got so much that I'm playing right now.
I'm glad you're liking it though, man.
Yeah.
Astrobot was like a bandage to the soul. It was just so it's so fun. It's so heartwarming. I love the music. I love how happy it is. I love
Yeah.
the vibe. Like
And it plays
my
like a
daughter
dream.
plays it. Mm-hmm. No, it's an like one thing I love about it as a parent with a kid who wants to get into gaming. Have you ever tried to just walk Astrobot off a ledge?
No. Does he not?
It won't let you walk off.
Huh. Okay.
You have to purposely jump off.
Oh, okay. Even if you're running.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Astrobot will stop at the ledge and just kind of like, "Ugh,"
Nice.
and then that's about it.
I like
I
that.
also love like if you turn the camera to face Astrobot, he'll like wave
Waves.
at
I know. There's so many little
it's
details
really
like that.
cute.
Did you notice in the freaking God of War level when it's snowing, the snowflakes are little triangle, square, X or cross and circle?
I did not
symbols?
notice that with the snowflakes. I noticed when it rains, where the water drops hit the ground, it's the triangle, square, X's and stuff like
That's
that.
awesome.
Like where instead of a little tiny splash, it's those shapes.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. It's just so on brand. I found myself just looking at the textures of things and seeing like the really interesting way that they bring the tech stuff to life. Like even in like things that should be organic, like trees, are actually technology. And you look and it's just like tiny little, hexagon like plates and wires that are glowing, and like the glass physics are really cool. Like, oh man, it's a blast. It plays like a dream. Unless I play and beat Expedition 33 this year, I don't see it being toppled by anything this year. Anything else,
It's
I should
so
say.
good, dude. It's so good. I love that game
Yeah.
so much. If you're cool with it, I have one last thing to bring up, and then
Sure.
I think I ought to get off because I have some editing to get done tonight.
Word.
Because the thing I'm actually editing is what I'm going to kind of discuss here too. So I've been doing I do a monthly movie podcast for my Patreon for the $5 patrons, patreon.com/stillloadingpod.
Do it.
Did all the James Bonds, did all the Fast and Furious. I believe I've talked about it since I'm doing all the Muppet movies. Still Muppeting. The only
Nice.
Muppet movie podcast for me and a bunch of friends play the music, light the lights, and we talk about the Muppets on Still Muppeting tonight. That's the whole tagline for it. But it's me and my buddy Doug Leaf from the Nostalgia Marcanum podcast, and we're like going through all not just Muppets, but like Jim Henson stuff too. Like our next one on the docket that we have yet to watch and record is going to be Dark Crystal,
Nice.
which will be fun. But then we're also doing like Catch That Bird and Labyrinth and Muppet Babies and that kind of stuff.
Mm,
So it'll be fun.
nice.
But
Mirror
the one that
Mask?
I'm editing, what? Sorry.
I forget if I asked this. Are you watching Mirror Mask at all? It is a Jim Henson Company movie, but it's a obscure, weird one that I love.
No, I don't actually know what let me bring up what because it's like Muppet focused kind of. So like things that are like kind of Muppet adjacent, which I know Dark Crystal and Labyrinth like are because they're Jim Henson, but they're also not because it's not really like Sesame Street feels Muppet adjacent, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Um,
I would
I
say
wouldn't say
Mirror Mask is not Muppet adjacent, but it does feel like the Jim Henson Company had some DNA in it. It's very weird. It's
yeah.
very weird.
Um, I mean, I'm looking up the schedule right now. There we go. So no, it doesn't seem our schedule is we're doing Muppet Takes Manhattan, Labyrinth, Muppet Treasure Island, Muppets from Space, Muppets Wizard of Oz, which I did not know was a thing.
That's a thing?
The Muppets, like the Jason Segel movie, Muppets Most Wanted, Muppets Haunted Mansion, and the Muppets Mayhem, which is our final one. But the one that I watched, I was beyond surprised I liked, was The Great Muppet Caper.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh my God, is it funny?
Really?
It is so. Check out Puppet Core, a fan made movie project in the works called Frank and Zed horror esque. Oh, cool!
Oh,
I'll check that out.
okay. I saw there was one. There was a video game coming out that's like, I think it's like a boxing video game, but you are like felt. Like you, I think it might be called Felt or something. But you're a puppet, and it's rendered like pixels, but you look like a real Muppet. It's wild. But yeah, Muppet
That sounds interesting.
Caper, the Great Muppet Caper. What is it?
Yes, the Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
It is like genuinely, I laughed out loud. Like there was a lot of moments I was surprised by the jokes because like I like the Muppets, but I also understand like they're a little bit like purposely like cheesy. Like that's kind of their shtick.
Yeah.
They know they're cheesy, and that's kind of the shtick. And so I wasn't expecting like just to kind of like most of the times when I watch much, I'm like, oh, that's funny, that's cute. Like I say that's funny because I'm enjoying it, but it's not enough to make me laugh out loud. The Great Muppet Caper had genuinely laugh out loud moments.
Nice.
Like there's an opening musical number, and while it's happening, this one of the main characters, oh my gosh, why can't I think of her name? It's played by Diana Rigg. She's played by Diana Rigg, who's like was a phenomenal actress. She's passed since, but God damn, why can't I think of her character's name? Lady something, I forget. Lady Holiday is the character's name, and she gets her jewels stolen. Like she's literally like coming out of a building, and some robbers in like all black come up, go yeah, and like take it right off her neck and just like drive away. But that's all happening in the midst of a big musical number. So like you don't actually hear anything, you just kind of see it happen, and you see Lady Holiday. Then she says, my jewels, someone's stolen my jewels. And meanwhile, Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo are reporters. They're journalists, and they're looking for a story, but they're so busy focused on other things, they're not noticing this major thing happening. Gonzo's taking pictures of chickens the whole time.
What a perv.
Because Gonzo. And then, so after the opening number, it cuts to them at their newspaper, the news agency. This came out in 1980, so it's very, like, hey, what you doing? What's the story, kid? That kind of stuff. A little bit of newsy-ish type of thing. And the front page story for the paper they work at is the fact that they got hired, that Kermit and Fozzie got hired, but that's not what the headline says. The headline says identical twins hired at newspaper, and it's a picture of Kermit and Fozzie.
What?
And no one in the entire movie ever questions it.
Yeah.
Everyone believes, like they treat it as a legitimate like thing. Like it's played straight. There's a moment midway through the movie where Kermit is sitting on a bench forlorn in a park, like in London, and this little girl walks by on a walk with her dad. She goes, "Hey, Dad, look, there's a bear on the bench," like pointing right to Kermit.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh no, that's just a bear, honey. They look similar though." Like it's this like it's this constant like running joke
Yeah.
that they are identical twins. Uh, and like when they sit down in the newspaper, they're like the editor's like, "You guys are identical twins. You don't look alike." He goes, "Oh no, that's because Fozzie's not wearing his hat. Put on your hat, Fozzie." And he puts on the hat, and they both go like that. He goes, "Oh, I see it now.
Now
I see it now." And like, but dead serious, like not playing it off
Yeah.
like these guys are weirdos. Like he's like, "Oh yeah, totally." Um, and
That's
then he
good.
goes like, I only hired you two as a favor to your old man because he was my best friend." And he looks at a picture of Fozzie and Kermit's dad, and it's this green Fozzie looking bear, like the Frankenstein child of Fozzie and Kermit. It's horrific.
Oh god.
And it's like they play it off for a joke the entire time. It's a great like, and they keep calling it back
Yeah.
over and over again.
That's a great gag.
I don't want to spoil all of them because there's a lot of good gags in it. One of my favorite running ones is that because this is not spoiling anything. The plot of the movie is that Miss Piggy gets framed for stealing those jewels. Not in the beginning, but the more jewels get stolen and she gets framed for it. So Kermit and Fozzie and everyone have to like find the real thieves so that way they can clear Miss Piggy's name. So he's talking to I guess some of the people, some of the other Muppets are like, "All right, we got to do this to free Piggy and we'll catch the thieves red-handed." And the first response from the one character goes, "Well, what color are their hands now?"
That's like some
And
not Lethal Weapon. Oh my god, Naked Gun joke.
There's a lot of jokes like that in the movie. Like
Yeah.
there's little subtle ones, like in that news reporter scene or when you first hear the twin joke, the newspaper editor keeps like when he gets mad, he slams his hands down on the desk and something always flies off, and he goes around the office slamming his hands down like 2 or 3 more times, and something flies up into the air. It's like it's like small things like that where like
Yeah.
the more you watch it, you're gonna notice more and more. Like there's the jokes are written like a Naked Gun movie where they'll throw like 6 in the matter of like 10 seconds,
Yeah.
and even though the first 4 don't hit you, the 5th one does, type of thing.
Yep. I love
And
that.
that red-handed joke keeps getting called back. Like they're later on, they're getting ready to like stake out the like to capture the bad guys right before they go in and execute their plan. They're like, "All right, we're gonna catch them red-handed." And once again, someone goes, "Well, what color are their hands now, Kermit?" And just the whole time, I loved it. I was so surprised. I enjoy Muppet movies somewhat like nostalgically, but also more
Yeah.
of kind of like, oh, this just makes me feel happy, not necessarily makes me completely laugh out loud every single time. The Great Muppet Caper genuinely made me laugh out loud numerous times.
I love that.
So if you like the Naked Gun style sense of humor, watch The Great Muppet Caper. I'm not going to say you're going to like it as much or it's better, but if you're looking for a comedy like that, The Great Muppet Caper kind of fits into that vein very much so.
I gotta be in the mood for it, but I do appreciate that. Like, I mean, I don't know. There are certain ones like I could watch Top Secret anytime, any day. That movie is so
That movie's
goddamn
so
funny.
good.
I will always think living in my head rent free is when he's playing the guitar and he's like serenading her with that beautiful song, and she's like, "Hold me," and he grabs her while he still has the guitar strapped to him, and it just crushes the guitar around her, splintering into wood.
One of
It's
my
so
other
good.
favorite bits from that is when he sings Tutti Frutti at the pizza parlor, and by the end of the song, the guys dancing on the table just have like puppets in their hands and they're twirling them around. They're supposed to be women.
Oh,
girls,
yeah.
and they're spinning, and they're just like the whole time.
It's so stupid.
Or if you notice in the background of that scene, people are ordering pizza. Or they have pizza and they're taking slices away, but the cheese keeps stretching.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you pay attention to the background of the scene, the actors are talking, but then all the background actors just keep pulling their slices away, trying to get the last bit. Like the
Yeah.
one dude's across entire restaurant. And
Yeah.
the cheese is still attached to the pizza. It's great.
I love stuff like that. Well, I might have to check. I've been wanting to watch a Muppets movie. I watched the Muppet, like the first original Muppets movie last year.
It's
God,
pretty fun. It's nice.
Yeah, it's good. I had a couple of good laugh out loud moments. Really heartfelt moments too. The whole Rainbow Connection scene, the whole Rainbow Connection song was so good, and I love the end when it's
That
like
song is beautiful, man.
it's so good. I just came across somebody like covering it on TikTok, and it made me cry. It was so beautiful. And the scene at the end where like the camera just keeps zooming out and out and out and out. There's more and more and more and more Muppets. Like even there's like Sesame Street Muppets in there, and I can't even imagine how many people had to be on that set that day.
Oh, and thinking of that, if you do watch The Great Muppet Caper, something else you'll be surprised by is some of the puppeteering stuff they do in it. I don't understand how they did.
Yeah,
Like remember when you saw Kermit riding a bike in the first Muppet movie?
I
You're
was
like,
just
wow, that's
thinking
really
that.
impressive. How they have a whole scene with multiple Muppets on a bike and turning and doing like it's insane.
that's wild. Yeah, I always think of that
But,
when I
yeah.
watch. We usually watch. Another thing that we watch around Christmas is Muppet or not Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Which is
Yes.
so cute and fun and wholesome. It's only a half hour, and that was what a childhood staple for me. So I love it front to back. But the scene where they're like the opening scene where Emmett and his mom are like rowing down a boat in the river, like you forget that they're puppets and you don't see strings. So it's like, are they underwater in a little submersible or something? Like doing the puppets, like it's
I have no idea, man. It's wild.
nuts. It's so cool. And then you get a little cameo by Kermit in that one riding a bike again, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just heading down to River Bottom or whatever." No, River Bottom's where the bad guys are from, and he's just like, "Hi, Kermit the Frog here. I'll tell you a story about a kid named Emmett," and he just like eats shit on his bike. He just crashes and flips off the bike. You're like, "Oh wow, that's so impressive," and then he just gets wrecked.
That's funny. I love that.
Only other timely thing I want to share that I watched.
Then I gotta peace
Yeah.
out. Then after this,
I don't have much to say about it because we did talk about it before I watched it. But I watched Stranger Things season 5.
oh yes, did you like it?
I thought it was fine. I was a little
Okay.
disappointed.
I liked it.
I don't say I disliked it. At the end of every episode, I was like, oh man, I still can't wait to see what happens next. But I feel like they just kind of ran out of steam a bit. I don't know what.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't keep me like it didn't move me like I think I really wanted it to.
That's fair.
The
I could see
more
that.
that we learned about Vecna, the less I was compelled by his character. Jimmy just says shit whack. I thought
See, I really liked the finale. I'm not going to say it was. I think season 4 was the best season. I love season 4. I think like right now for me it's season 4, then 1, then maybe 3, 5, and 2. But it's been a while since
Wow.
I've seen season 2. Obviously.
I really like
But,
1 and
like,
2.
2 was okay. I don't know. I like season. I think for me, I like the ending of it because like I can I shouldn't say I can empathize. Like I fucking know what I've ever done something close to it, but like I can understand. It's got to be hard to write it. It's hard to write endings.
Yeah.
Endings are really hard to write. I really liked the ending though. I thought the leaving it kind of ambiguous as to like what happened. I don't want to spoil anything just yet, just because
Yeah.
in case there's anyone watching, it's still kind of newish.
Still pretty new, yeah.
Leaving it kind of ambiguous. But I also loved the ending, just the way they kind of wrap it up with. This is a very mild spoiler, just for. I'm not even going to say specifics, but just in case, super mild spoiler. The way they wrap it up with, the friend, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Max leave the basement, and then it enters in Mike's younger sister,
Yes.
Holly, and her friend. I thought that was perfect. It was absolutely perfect and very much the end of the hero's journey, and how, like, you're fully changed. You can't go back to how the way things
Hmm.
were prior to this 5 season long journey.
Yeah.
So you just have to move on, and you have to kind of, unfortunately, you know, end things in the way they were meant to be ended and move on. And I think that was a cool way to do it. I'm
I
not
do
gonna say
like
it was
that.
perfect. I get why people don't like it. I do think, as much as like the final battle's weird because it feels short. But if you really
Yeah.
think about like when they start attacking Vecna, and like both literally directly, as you see in kind of like the very literal final battle, in the like in his world, and but they start attacking in the mine, and like the full final battle is like 40 minutes long, but it feels like it's only 10, which
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a problem with editing or whatnot, but like, I saw some videos pointing out like the final battle is long. It just, yeah, I agree with I understand why people have the perception that it wasn't, because it doesn't feel long.
Yeah, I don't think I had any issues with that or like the ending itself. I do really like the
Mm.
ending. I love the resolution with just about all of the characters. I do love that moment where his sister comes down and her friends are playing D&D, and maybe I'm just a bit jaded, but I was like, oh, so now here's the cast for the next season of like Stranger Things spin-off with, the sister. But I thought they did a really good job at making it feel like a bunch of kids playing D&D. Like the callbacks, I don't want to say too much, but everybody has something to do in that final battle, and it feels like insurmountable odds. What can we do as just regular humans? Everybody
Mm.
has and does their part to chip away, at this threat. And I think the parts that I didn't like were I just didn't care about anything with Henry slash Vecna. And I also thought that the
Mm.
whole military thing was like all of the scenes with involving military characters. I was like, this is so boring. You're all
I agree with you on
just
that.
versions of characters
They
we've had in previous seasons, but done worse and not compelling. And you're a stage hazard at this point. Um, I don't know.
I think I agree with you on that, because especially like you bring Linda freaking Hamilton
I
in,
know.
and you don't really give her a lot to do.
No, she just says basically
and
the
then-
same a iteration of the same 3 lines the whole freaking season, and it's like we get
Like,
it.
you could have gotten a competent character actor to do her role, and I don't mean that as an insult to Linda Hamilton or the character actor, because character actors are fucking awesome, and they don't get enough credit, because you see them playing a similar role in like a bunch of different shows and movies. So like Jason Isaacs, for example, he's better than a character actor. You know what I mean? Like, he always plays like that asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it was a problem with the acting. I thought she did a great job.
I don't mean it's a problem with the acting. What I'm saying is, like, you don't bring in someone with the pedigree and like the gravity of Linda Hamilton to do something that another actor could have done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's because she was phenomenal, but the character they gave her, the writing they gave her, was not that interesting. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, you don't bring someone that's like, like when some of my criticisms with some of the later James Bond movies, you bring in Christoph Waltz as the villain for Spectre, and he's
Yeah.
just like, he's a boring fucking villain.
Aw.
Like, you could, like, doesn't matter who you would have cast in Linda Hamilton's role, the character would have been somewhat forgettable. So, like, you don't bring in an actor with the gravity of that Linda Hamilton brings,
Yeah.
and give her a bigger role than that. You give someone with that type of gravity like a bigger role.
Yeah. I think it needed
and then-
to be her though, like just as an homage to the 80s in general. Like, that was so cool seeing her. The only, who I could have seen that would have crushed it with better writing? Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my
I could do
god,
that.
get Ripley in there.
And the other thing, like the actor who kind of plays like the second in command for the military, that dude who gets his eye all fucked up and he's kind
Yeah.
of like really kind of crazy looking.
Yeah.
He gets more screen time. Like he's really good. I like him a lot. Like he's like you dislike him. You dislike the character so much because he's such a prick.
Yeah.
And so the actor does a phenomenal job. But like I feel like he gets more of a meal in terms of like what he gets to do in the show
Yeah.
than what Linda Hamilton got to do. Fun fact: do you know what that actor also has done previously to this?
No, that soldier guy.
Yeah, it's Soldier Guy. He
No.
kind of like kind of narrow faced. You know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
he gets like
he's the guy that they capture for a
interrogate
little
him.
bit, and he gets yeah.
yeah.
So there's a stage play of Stranger Things where
Oh,
you
really?
see that takes place 30 years prior. It takes place in the 50s or 60s. It takes place like 20 years prior to the events of Stranger Things, where you see like remember Matthew Modine was like the dude who was running the lab in season 1 and 2 and he dies in 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
He was Papa or whatever.
Yeah.
You see him 20 years younger starting these experiments, and you see
Okay.
the start of Vecna and Henry and everything. He plays the young Matthew Modine on the stage play.
Oh, that's funny. That's a cool little Easter egg callback.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. That's really cool. Also, they brought in their high school drama teacher to be the teacher in the show for season 5. Did you know that?
No. Wait, really?
The teacher who's like I think she's Holly's teacher in the show.
Oh, yeah.
For season 5. That is the Duffer Brothers drama teacher from when they were kids.
Oh my
they
God.
cast her.
That's hilarious.
I
love that.
Isn't that so? It's adorable, right?
Oh man, what a way to like pay
There's-
back the like creative forces that shaped you.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that.
There's a lot of stuff they did. Like I think what's a little frustrating about season 1, because I liked it overall. I don't think it was like the strongest season, but like I'm of the opinion right now where it's like nothing they could do would be perfect. It's next to impossible to have a perfect ending. 1 in a million pieces of media do it.
Yeah.
But like this, I feel like I wonder if it's going to be like, in like 5 or 10 years, we're going to watch it and be like, oh, actually, you know what? This is pretty cool. Maybe we'll change our opinions. I don't know. But I do think the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, season 5 is like just a very heartfelt send off to the series.
Yes.
In not just in the way they wrote it and showed it, but like in behind the scenes stuff too. Like I said, with the fact that they tied in the stage actor for the stage play, the fact that they brought in their high school drama teacher as a teacher in the show, the fact that they also gave like Karen Wheeler some fucking badass shit to do in the
Oh yeah, that was incredible.
God
and
damn,
and fuck her husband. I can't stand that guy.
apparently he's like really funny on set.
Really?
He's like the actor who plays him. Like the actor is just this really, and so they had a hard time like doing scenes with him because the shit he would say is just so deadpan, and he's just like like the what did I do?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. They had a hard time filming it because they kept laughing at him.
That's great.
So I mean, I agree. The character is not a fun character,
No,
but
no.
I the actor seems fun.
Yeah. There was obviously, because the homophobes are gonna homophobe. The scene where a character it's probably no secret if you've watched the previous season. There's a character who comes out to
It's a great
bunch of
scene.
people. I do really like that scene. I like how he words it. I like how awkward he is.
Mm-hmm.
I had this kind of feeling running through the whole season, really, and it culminated at this point. And I don't know if I wanted to see this because it's bigotry, but this was the 80s. Like, we saw a little bit of the satanic panic in the last season with the D&D stuff. But it felt like it didn't feel quite as Police and I were talking about this. Like, this is a small town in the Midwest. Like, there is no way in hell that level of support would have happened for this character, unfortunately. And I do feel like it was a bit pandery to have everybody be like, oh my god, that's awesome, we're so happy for you, we love this. And there's no I feel like at least somebody would have been like, that's not against, that's not in the Bible, or that, the Bible says that that's bad. Like with the parents or somebody, like,
I think
Christianity and religion in general, whether Catholicism, whatever, was such a baseline. I remember growing up and like everybody went to church. Not everybody was religious, but everybody went to church, and everybody, like, it was baked into like our culture that, like, again, I didn't want the character to suffer and experience bigotry on the show, but it felt weird to me that these, and not just the homophobia thing, but like that these demons and stuff are coming out, and the whole town isn't going, oh my god, it's the gates of hell have opened up and it's our retribution for being sinners. Like, again, this is a small town in the Midwest. Like, I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of that angle, and it kept pulling me out of it and telling me this is a show made in 2020 whatever, not actually 1985.
See, I will only okay, so I think wanting to see that angle would have made it more interesting. I can agree with you, because like how would he have confronted the homophobia and like dealt with it? Would have been an interesting angle.
That was rampant. I mean, this is like AIDS crisis 101.
Yeah, no, it would have been rampant, especially like the AIDS epidemic would have been, which I don't know when that started. I know it was in the 80s. I don't know.
It was like late 80s.
But what I will say is, I think you're being a little cynical with the coming out scene. I understand it's a little cheesy, but I think the reason why it works for me, one, because with my own bias, I want it to work, so I'm reading that into it. Just you putting that out as a disclaimer. But two, I think if he would have done this without the events that I think it's logical to believe that they have gone through 6 years of hell at this point. Like, however many years, at least 5 years of hell doing this. Like, this group of people are tight. And a lot of them probably already kind of suspected, when you're that close to someone for that long,
sure,
you're going to start noticing some things, right? So if this was like, a group of friends you grew up with, and the most trauma you had was just, high school, which, that's trauma. I'm not going to lie about it. Unfortunately, everyone has to go through it to learn how to deal with it, but it sucks. Then maybe I could see, like, at least one, then maybe the reactions would be different. But this is their brother. This is someone that they've literally gone to hell and back and fought demons against with. And I think the way he brings it up, how he's like, this is what Vecna is using against me. I have to remove this like piece of his off the table so he can't use it against me. So I can be at full power. And I think, like, knowing what the characters have gone through and how much they support each other already, I'm not surprised that everyone accepted it. I think if it was someone outside of the group, and I do think that, and I also do think there's a valid point where it's like, why did everyone have to be there? Why can't it just be Mike, his mom, and maybe like his friends? Like, Murray didn't need to be there. Stuff which I love. Murray, Brett Gelman is fucking fantastic in it, but like, did Murray really need to be there? Probably not. But I think that, like, the scene works for me. I think part of it also is, I was talking to I was talking to a friend, but I've also seen people equate it. I think this is a dramatic equating Stranger Things to this, but people, I was thinking about this, even how, like, people were bitching leading up to the finale, how, like, they never killed any characters off, right? They never, like, the cast was huge, and how do you balance so many characters in this and that? And honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I recently got into it, but it reminds me a little bit of Lord of the Rings, where it's like you have a huge cast of characters, and things work out that should be impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Like but the reason Lord of the Rings gets away with it is because that's kind of the message of it. Like you try against, you know what I mean? That's and I feel
Yeah.
like Stranger Things kind of does something similar. I don't know what you're laughing at. I don't have chat up.
Jimmy said Bob.
Bob, oh,
Bob. Wow, already
Bob.
forgotten. I think he means like of the main party.
Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, I know. But yeah,
but like,
in
no,
the main party, there's definitely a little too much plot armor for me. But that's fine.
Yeah. But like I like that because I think I'm tired of everything having to be like, I think someone brought this up on, like, I saw some comment on Threads or whatever, and I kind of agree with this, where it's like, why does everything, like, Game of Thrones convinced us to the point like something can't be serious and important unless some main character dies,
Right.
and I don't think that's the case. I like that there's plot armor in this because sometimes the best possible scenario does happen. I'm not saying every movie, every TV show should be like this where like plot armor saves people, but like I think sometimes you can get away with it if you do it the right way, and I think they did it the right way.
I think
I know you don't feel that way, but
I think they did. Oh, somebody's sending something. Shadow Mage. You silly English kniggets, I fought in your general direction. Thank you for the bits, Shadow. If the threat isn't real, then the consequences have no stakes. Ooh, okay, good point from Jimmy. So I will say...
Yeah, but the threat is real because you saw people die. It just wasn't the main characters. The threat is very... They make it very clear that the threat is real because fucked up shit happened to people.
Yeah.
Whether you saw it in flashbacks, whether it was Bob, whether it was like in season 4, how many of those random high schoolers just got like their bones broken
I know.
in half?
One kid gets ripped in half.
Their brains.
Yeah.
Like in season 5, there's not as much because they're wrapping up all the stories, but like you can still have stakes and consequences even when no characters die, because the characters still lose something.
Sure.
Like one of the main things in season 5 is they lost, like they didn't have childhoods.
Yeah.
They lost their childhood because of the events of the series, and that's one of the reasons why they kind of like the way they grew up. There's also the scene. This is major. Oh my gosh, we're spoiling everything with this. I'm so sorry, but like Jonathan and Nancy, like that whole scene is fucking beautiful because they realized that they weren't meant to be for specific reasons, and the fact, like even like the way that all of them are now together and they all travel off, but they agree to meet up only once a month when they went through all this stuff together. Like the people were permanently changed from this, and just because someone didn't die doesn't mean that there weren't consequences. It's just that the consequences wasn't death.
Yeah, and I think there could have been more consequences for directly physically facing this threat. Like there's a character in a wheelchair who by the end of it isn't in the wheelchair anymore, and I was like, I kind of wanted her to stay in the wheelchair, you know, like, or have some kind of, maybe a maiming. Can somebody get maimed? Like, you don't have to die. And I know they're kids, but like I don't know. And that's not even my biggest issue with the season. I overall think it's a better choice than not. And I did want to just add, like, I didn't want it to come across in the coming out scene that I wanted him to face homophobia. I think it felt weird that everybody was like, yep, this is totally fine. I think I would have liked...
I think I understand your point. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
I think what I would have liked is to add a little more nuance and add a little more weight and gravity to that, is to have a character or some characters be like, look, I don't really get it, but you are one of my best friends and I love you and I'm going to be here for you no matter what. Like, the fact that it almost felt kind of dismissive that everybody was like, that's cool, we're totally here for you. And like, I don't mind that it's cheesy. I love cheesy stuff, but it just felt a bit like, okay, like I don't know. Like, I feel like it would have been more
That's fair.
impactful to have, especially like because, like I said, for the time, it being the '80s, somebody be like, you know what? I always thought this was something that was, I've changed my mind now because I'm really close to somebody who is queer, and I'm seeing this, and now I'm having this change within me because honestly, you and I both know we're both recovered Christians. Like, homophobia was rampant in our circles, and it took a lot for me to unlearn a lot of this stuff too. And what it took was having relationships with queer people and trans people, and I unlearned a lot of racism from hanging out with more people of color. Like, that's how these things go. And I think I would have just loved more moments where characters are like, oh my
Of
god,
them struggling to understand Will,
but ultimately putting everything
but in a loving
aside
way.
for like putting
Weird.
all of their being raised in a tiny shitty little town in Indiana in the midst of satanic panic in the 80s, that ingrained in your brain, and that all that brainwashing, putting that all aside in that moment and being like, but I don't care because I love you, because you are like, and like, to your point, we've been through hell and we've gone to hell and back. Like, there is nothing that you can say or do that's going to make me not love you. I love you more now for being so brave and coming out with this. Like, literally. I don't know. I'm kind of being nitpicky, but my biggest issues with this season.
I can understand. I don't think your opinion on it's valid. I see what you're saying. I can understand where you're coming from with it. I like the scene, I think, more than you, but I don't think your criticism is necessarily off. Because like you said, like with the times, like wouldn't, like, even if they just softened it, I shouldn't say soften, but like change it a smidge to like what you said, where it's like, well, I don't understand it, but we've been through hell and back, so I, like, no matter what, even if I don't get it, like, I love you, you're my best friend, so like, I don't get it, but I'm gonna support you anyway because we've been together through thick and thin.
Yeah.
So like, even having it, instead of just complete acceptance, just like acceptance to the point where it's like confusion, like not understanding but still accepting, would I for that, the context of that time period, I think I kind of agree with you. It would have made it, if you're going with a really happy ending with that scene, that would have made a little bit more sense within the context of that time period and setting.
Yeah. And it just added a little more importance to it, I think. Jimmy says, I think in a short-lived series, we don't get the real ramifications of loss of childhood, compounded emotional debt. Death is a jarring and real implication of actions, and we get perceived devastation.
I disagree with the perceived devastation. Mike lost the love of his life.
Yeah. Well, now I guess we're just spoiling it all now.
Sorry, we're getting into specifics now.
I know. I don't
know. To me, that's very straightforward.
Yeah, I think I'm maybe, in order for it to feel a bit more believable, I think maybe I would have liked a little bit more. Maybe that is cynical. I don't know. More consequences. But yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty good. I was glad that I watched it. It was a good wrap up in a lot of ways. It left a lot to be desired in terms of all this stuff. Like I said, the more that I learned about Henry, the less I cared. Like, I kind of liked.
I could see why.
I missed when it was like an unknowable creature or entity of some kind, and not just like, well,
I agree with you on that.
It's another traumatized kid. Hurt people. I don't know. That's why I think I like the earlier seasons more.
I think that's fair. I think when it's up to your imagination, it's a lot more interesting because it could be anything.
Yeah.
So,
well,
anyway, I do have to wrap this up, man. It's late.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah, I have some other things I can share, but they're not timely related anyway. So, are we not going to meet for 2 weeks? 2 weeks is fine. I have something that I wanted to bring up, not something that I wanted to share, but a topic / challenge we talked about in previous episodes.
Okay.
I can save it for not next week, but the following. Thank you to everyone who showed up in chat. Jimmy and Spicy B and Shadowed Mage and all of our friends and fam and Gilmer. And did Keaton pop by for a little bit? God, there's so many of
I
you
didn't
now.
see Keaton.
All of the above, and even if you just lurked, that's totally fine too. Thanks for being here. Thank you, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Go to therapy. Drink more water. God damn it. And watch Karas. Yeah.
And the Great Muppet Caper.
And the Great Muppet Caper. Back to back, because they are a shared universe.
Yeah.
Well, pants back on. Cheers, homie. Why were your pants off? Josh didn't even show his feet. Anything you want to share or plug before we peace the F out? Let me see if anyone's, while you do, if anyone's streaming that I can raid to.
Drew the
Is Drew
Damager is on. And Luigi's Apartment is on.
Hey, I don't think I follow Luigi, but I'll send you guys over to Drew. Drew is good people.
Only thing I have to plug is the finale of my Road to First Light series, my getting ready for the new James Bond game, which was going to be out in March, got pushed. I already planned the series out before the delay happened, so the game's out in May. But my finale is coming out this Sunday, and the last episode actually will be out tomorrow on Patreon. It's on Hitman 2016, and it's a fucking great game. And yeah, so just that's the next episode coming.
Nice. Stay tuned for that. Everyone, tell Drew I sent you. Have a good night, and we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.